Hello and welcome to Serie A Spotlight Season 2, Episode 31. I'm your only host, Jake, and I'll be joined by a friend of the podcast, Luke Mintoff, who is running late. He is our resident Sassuolo fan. The OG listeners will remember him from the time that Matt and I had gone to Amsterdam, and him and Santi had actually taken over the podcast. This was back in Season 1. They had 2 fantastic episodes together. That was great. Matt is currently in Australia, my brother and co-host. He's enjoying his life and will be doing so for the next 4 episodes, but worry not, the show must and will go on. Of course, we did not place a bet this week due to the lack of Serie A football, but be sure to follow us at Serie A Spotlight on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter to keep up with our bets and our snippets and our bonus content over there. So while we wait for our guest today, Luke Mintoff, who is 46 minutes late, I'm going to take you through the international break rundown very quickly just to see how the Serie A players performed throughout this break. So Abdelhamid Sabiri scored the second goal in a 2-1 victory over Brazil during Ramadan, massive win for Morocco over there. Rasmus Højlund scored 5 goals in 2 games for Denmark. This included a hat-trick against Finland in a 3-1 win and 2 against Kazakhstan in a 3-2 loss. Simon Kjær also registered an assist in those games. Romelu Lukaku scored a hat-trick in a 3-0 victory for Belgium over Sweden. Rafael Leao assisted, missed a penalty and scored just 3 minutes later in a 6-0 thumping over Luxembourg. Napoli's Elif Elmas scored for Macedonia in a 2-0 win over Malta, unfortunately for us, because we are of course Maltese. 23-year-old Matteo Retegui scored for Italy in their 2-1 loss to England and in their 2-0 win over Malta thanks to a Lorenzo Pellegrini assist. Monza's Matteo Pessina also scored against Malta and Tonali got 2 assists over there. Yeah, not looking good for the Maltese, but they didn't play too badly. Rade Krunic netted twice for Bosnia and Herzegovina and their 3-0 victory over Iceland. Vlahovic scored for Serbia and their 2-0 victory over Lithuania. Kostic assisted Tadic's goal. Vlahovic also scored both goals in Serbia's 2-0 victory over Montenegro. Parma's Dennis Mann in Serie B scored for Romania, and Empoli's Razvan Marin assisted in a 2-0 victory over Andorra. Marin also assisted in Romania's 2-1 victory over Belarus. Napoli's Stanislav Lobotka registered an assist in Slovakia's 2-0 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina. Denzel Dumfries got 2 assists in the Netherlands' 3-0 victory over Gibraltar as he continues to deceive potential buyers with these international performances. And by the way, Gibraltar's highway is their landing strip, their main landing strip for their airport. That's how small that country is. Mario Pasalic assisted both goals for Croatia in a 2-0 victory over Turkey. Lecce striker and Milan loanee Lorenzo Colombo put 2 past Ukraine's under-21s. Lecce's Lamek Banda put 2 past Lesotho for Zambia, by the way. I'm not sure what Lesotho is and had no idea Banda's name was Lamek, but there we go. Boulaye Dia scored 2 goals in a 1-0 and 5-1 victory over Mozambique. So the Serie A boys doing well all round. Today, eventually, when Mintoff does get his ass over here, we'll be going over our tops and flops for the season so far for each of the 20 clubs in Serie A. Until then, I'm going to take you through some news. Corriere della Sport has announced that Mourinho will be extending with Roma until 2024. Very good news for them, as the atmosphere in Rome has completely changed since the Portuguese manager has taken over. Napoli star Gvica Kvaratskhelia has agreed terms on a new contract at the club. Apparently, the Georgia international has agreed to a 1-year extension that will see him contracted with the club until 2028, where he will earn around 4 million per season. Calciomercato.com, not my favorite source, has reported that Galliani is trying to use his positive relationship with Zlatan Ibrahimovic to lure him to Monza next season. Now, please note that Zlatan is 42 years old and has really struggled with injuries this season more than ever before. He was out on international duty with Sweden. Perhaps it was daft for him to be there to begin with, but he has sustained another injury and he'll be out for another month. We got a question on Instagram from Haaland_7395. He says, as of now, how much time will it take Milan to win the Champions League? Is there a team that's desperate to win CL in Serie A that is Milan? They won Scudetto after 10 long years. How many years will it take to win it? Okay. So I would say that according to this trajectory, we still have to see what the new owners actually invest and how much they're willing to invest and strengthen the squad. But with the right decisions, I think that within the next 5 years, Milan can actually do it, to be honest with you. I think that that psychological advantage that Milan have, having won 7 Champions League in the past, should not be undermined. He also asks, which striker will Milan go for? Balogun, David, or Prestiani? Now, I had to Google some of these guys. Florian Balogun is 21 years old. He plays for Reims on loan from Arsenal. He's 5'10". He scored 17 in 27 games for Reims this season and has scored 7 in 13 for England's under-21s. That's a nice profile over there. But, of course, being English, he's probably very expensive. Jonathan David is a 23-year-old Canadian. Perhaps he's the best known of the lot. He plays for Lille and has scored 24 in 40 games with Canada, 19 goals and 4 assists in 26 games for Lille this season. This would be a massive investment for Milan, and I think that's another profile who many clubs are looking at. Gianluca Prestiani is an Argentinian 17-year-old winger. He plays with Vélez Sarsfield. He has 1 goal in 9 games. Italy are working with him to get him an Italian passport to join the likes of Retegui in the squad and another Argentinian over there. Milan and West Ham are keen. I think this is the most realistic one for Milan, judging by their transfer history. Fun fact, Zaniolo's contract at Galatasaray includes a bunch of objective-based clauses, like reaching the quarterfinals of the Champions League, the semi-finals, the finals, winning it, all going up to 3 million itself. It's quite crazy. These clauses are mad. There's also an undisclosed clause on Zaniolo winning the Ballon d'Or. That's actually quite funny, as I personally can't remember the last time a Galatasaray player has won the Ballon d'Or. Victor Osimhen has sustained an adductor injury while away with the Nigerian national team, and there is a chance that he will miss all 3 games against Milan. That's a massive confidence boost for Milan. Of course, Simeone and Raspadori have shown that they are capable of stepping up in these big moments, but of course it will be a massive confidence boost for Milan over there. The Napoli medics are expecting his return to come within 15 to 20 days. Of course, with the Champions League looming, there is no guarantee that he will actually be fit enough to start these games. Chelsea have identified Inter goalkeeper Onana as a target. Inter value him for 40 million, and we all know the situation at Inter. They will be willing to sell if certain prices are hit or certain offers are made, rather. So yeah, this is another one for Chelsea's hit list now, along with the other 4,000 names they've got over there. Inter would be looking at the hottest goalkeeping property at the moment, who belongs to Empoli. It's Guillermo Vicario. He's valued about 15-20 million. They would be looking at him as a replacement. So 1 hour and 30 minutes later, Luke Mintoff has finally arrived, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi everyone. I'd say I'm sorry for being late, but I don't really have an excuse.
So you're not sorry?
How can you be sorry if you don't have an excuse?
How can you be sorry if you don't feel sorry? People say I'm sorry.
I do feel sorry. I wasn't happy to be late, but so I'm sorry for being late.
It's fine, bro. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm kidding. You're actually doing us a solid over here, joining and tagging along, because recording alone is extremely tedious. So.
I'm sure it is. Matt, it's your fault.
So guys, yes, Mintoff supports Sassuolo. So before we get into our tops and flops segment for the season, what do you think of Sassuolo's performance so far?
Of course, at the beginning of the season, and rightly so, you guys were ripping them to shreds. So to be fair, even I was. They just weren't playing very well. Of course, there were a couple of key factors to that. Berardi had been injured on and off. Traore had been injured on and off. Our defense is still not good, but it was even worse than, I mean, the attack, sorry, not the defense, was far worse than it was the season before. And I think that, Pinamonti not scoring was something they weren't expecting. I'm sure they weren't expecting him to be, Scamacca levels, but I think they expected at least, 6 goals by the end of the first round, which was 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But then, as players came back and as Dionisi, I think, found a better system, and he found that Lariente and Berardi in the same starting 11, how they can be. I think that they almost don't need that striker. It helps, of course, but they carry so much weight. They make so much space that even sometimes midfielders like Frattesi can score and fill in that gap that strikers can't do. So I think now that I think they've recovered super well. I think that they're one of the top 5 teams in the league right now.
European push?
I'd like to say yes, but I know that if I say that, probably the next 10 games, Sassuolo will lose them all. But I think they have a good chance because of the fact that many of the teams which were playing, which were in this region of 8th to 12th, they've not looked so potent, and they've not looked so potent for a couple of games now. We're looking at Udinese. Okay, they beat Milan, but before that they were struggling a bit. We have Torino, who either they have a great game or they're invisible.
They've improved recently.
They have improved. Yeah. Fiorentina are good, but again, they have these spurts, but then they can go quiet. So and Sassuolo, I think, have been consistent, and they've managed to scrape some wins as well. Some wins where you didn't expect them to do. They beat Atalanta. They had beat Milan, which are 2 very important games in a 19 round. What do you call it? Season, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a good chance for that. Yeah. But I think it will really depend on. It depends on the match fitness of the players, of course, and I think it will depend as well if Pinamonti can actually, or the striker who plays in that number 9 can actually start to put in some weight, because I can't expect both of those wingers to keep on performing that intensity the entire time till we're done.
Yeah, it can't be. Like, Pinamonti's job shouldn't be just to pull an extra man away.
No, it can't.
But anyway.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
So yeah, there we go. So bro, shall we get into our tops and flops? Let's start with Napoli, okay? So the rule is you have to pick one. Only one.
I haven't done these in order, but okay.
Okay, don't worry, you can find it till then.
So we have
Napoli, no problem.
Why is it lipstick?
That's lipstick.
Oh.
It's mine.
Okay. Okay, go on. Okay. I'll let you start.
So my top for Napoli, of course, it was between. So if you're gonna go for the educated hipster kind of guess, you'd go for like Stanislav Lobotka, right? Who keeps everything together. That's not the route I went down.
I'm sure you went down Kvara as well.
I didn't go down Kvara.
Oh my lord!
I went Victor Osimhen.
Listen, okay, I have a point. Listen, he's been great. I have no doubt. I'm not even going to say anything bad about him. But I think that if Kvara isn't in that squad, Osimhen doesn't score all those goals. Because of the fact that Kvara is such a threat for teams that it almost gives Osimhen that extra space to get those goals. And if you see, a lot of Osimhen's goals have been in the 6-meter box.
Yes.
He has scored some great goals, but they're either when a pass has been given to him or when he's been given a cross by Kvara or another player on the team. His finishing has been great, so you have to commend that.
Yes.
But the team has really started to build around him. So that's why I didn't choose him.
No, I have Osimhen because up front he offers certain guarantees that Napoli haven't had since probably the days of Higuain,
or
Cavani up front. I had those guys, and probably Higuain was on another level back then.
I don't know what the hell he was taking. I love that cocaine.
God knows, but whatever it is, it's worn off and he's lost his hair. So yeah, no, but Osimhen is a one-man army up front. Again, you can give him the ball in any situation and he'll turn. He's so direct, he's so quick. He is the top scorer for a reason. He can put 2-3 past a single opponent. I think that if you had to simply play with Elmas instead of Kvaratskhelia out on the left, I think Osimhen will still rack the numbers up.
He will, but I still believe that he wouldn't rack up those numbers, and I think the first to second top scorer would be much closer. You have to see how many. Kvara has 7 assists.
He's got, together I think Osimhen has one more goal contribution, I believe, and all.
I mean, and I think most of the assists have don't correct me if I'm wrong, but they have definitely been majority to Osimhen.
Yeah, I mean,
and the goal and the crosses that he gives, he basically gives him an open goal against the keeper.
Yeah.
You have to finish, which of course, as we know, isn't easy. Pinamonti, that's you. But that's why I've picked Kvara, to be honest. Simply because he has been such a... he has been what they hoped Insigne was meant to be
Yes.
for like 4 seasons.
Exactly.
And he comes in his first season. I think as well the fact that it's his first season, that's why I give it to him as well.
Fair enough.
You know, this is a league which is very intimidating, and this nobody comes, and he's making players look like it's Sunday League, dude.
For-
Dribbling, and it's in the 6-meter box, and they don't know where he's going. Left, right, and he just scores. I'm like,
He has that
what?
fake shot nailed down. He
Yeah.
breaks ankles with it.
He's
It's mental.
Sometimes I'm lost for words about him.
Gvaradona.
Gvaradona.
So it's great that the first one we already disagree.
I like it, but I don't think we're too far off.
No, I think
Like,
we both have a point.
I think we're
right?
kind of agreeing, but disagreeing. I think we're a bit in the middle here.
Yeah. Let us know what you think.
Ooh.
Mellow. Flop. Now mine's harsh. I think anyone, if you pick any flop for Napoli, it's going to be harsh, right?
Oh.
I've got
No,
Raspadori.
I have Raspadori as
You have
well.
Raspadori as well.
I
Now,
don't
it's not
think it's
fair.
harsh, man. No, I think it is fair.
But Champions League-wise, his numbers are there. Huh? He's got
Yeah.
3 goals against Ajax. He's got 1 goal against Rangers. He's got an assist against both teams. He scored 2 goals for Italy against Hungary
We're
and
talking about
England.
Napoli here.
Yes,
So
and then
we
in
have
the
to-
league, though, exactly.
Yeah, but the
it's
league's the way-
1 goal against Spezia. He has fewer league goals than Daniel Maldini.
I think it's clearly him because players like Simeone, who haven't had as much time as, of course, Osimhen, because Osimhen is number 1 and no one's going to shift him off that spot. But he's come in and given a shift and scored important goals at times. And Raspadori, when he comes on, he just looks out of place. It looks to me like a player like Caputo in the last few games when he was playing with Sassuolo, not giving. I'm sure it's not the case that he doesn't give a shit, but it just looks like something's not clicking. Either it's him with the team or the other way around. Either he's really stressed or he's under pressure. But I mean, 1 goal in 15 games in a team where you have so many stars around you, where you should be scoring more. At Sassuolo, he had barely any support, and he was doing things which begs the question that this guy could, like, you know, he was scoring sometimes goals like Kvara, like dribbling in the box. And I remember a goal specifically against Spezia, he had scored 2. He had literally come in, like, edge of the box, scored a worldie into the top corner. I'm like, where is this guy?
Yeah, I think the formation isn't really suited to
No.
his strengths.
No,
Like if you
that's
play a
true.
4-2-3-1 and you play him behind the striker, I think you'll get more out of Raspadori than you're getting right now.
I agree.
Because in a 4-3-3, especially 4-3-3 with a holding Regista and Lobotka, you don't really fit him anywhere, can you?
But then who else do you pick? I was thinking about Lozano. But then he's probably not meant to be a goal scorer this season, and more like a supporting, you know, player just creating that pressure down the right wing. So that's why I didn't. I was about to write Lozano, to be honest. But then again, were there high expectations for this guy in the first place?
I don't think so. No.
So, like, how can you say he's the flop then?
yeah.
And
true.
then Raspadori, this guy who's coming from Sassuolo, they spent, what, 30 million?
Quite a bit, yes.
So, I mean, 30 million is not nothing. I think they'd expect at least more than 1 goal. Pinamonti has more. And have you seen this guy play football? No. I think he's one of the worst strikers in the league, if you ask me.
Probably as a starter for sure.
So yeah, it's cool we both agreed on that one.
Nice. So Lazio up next, bro. Who's your top for Lazio?
I have to see, man. I have everything all over the place. I believe I picked Zaccagni.
Same, bro. Zaccagni
Okay.
over here. Honorable mentions to Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, Felipe Anderson, and Romagnoli. Atomy.
I agree with Romagnoli for sure. The fact he has come to Lazio, I wouldn't say without any expectations. Probably they expected him to put in a shift, but he has performed way above what they probably bargained for, especially because they lost Acerbi.
Yes.
You know, Acerbi's been like that guy at the back, you know, the taxi driver you rely on whenever you need to get home from a drunk night out, and he's always been there. And he left, and they brought in Romagnoli. I mean, of course, Acerbi left afterwards, but Acerbi was barely playing anymore. So they had brought in Romagnoli as a replacement, and I think they should be very happy with what they
super.
got. He looks revitalized. I'm very happy for him. I know you have probably some bad beef about Romagnoli.
No, I don't mind, honestly. I mean, he played out his contract. No,
Yes.
he eventually lifted the Scudetto
Yes.
for Milan. He renewed during one of Milan's lowest points in their recent history. At a
Yes.
point, everyone was trying to walk out. Everyone was trying to leave that sinking ship, and Romagnoli actually came out and renewed back then. That was when
Him and
he was
Calabria, for
made
example.
captain, exactly.
Yeah.
So no, I have nothing but respect for Romagnoli personally.
Felipe Anderson, I wouldn't agree with you though.
No.
I don't think he's that
Bro,
great.
I've really liked him playing in that immobile role, but just creating spaces, attacking the pockets. He's been so good there, man. I think Sarri has really found a way to utilize him effectively.
Yes, but I think if you're playing in that position, you should be scoring more goals. Personally, if you're trying to play someone in that spot which Immobile should be playing, of course you can't compare the two players. They're not comparable. But I feel like, and I agree. He's been better than down the right wing and being utterly useless at the beginning of the season. He looked trash.
Yeah.
So when they changed that role, okay, but. I wouldn't say he's an honorable mention.
Okay,
Milinkovic-Savic, yes, but the last 10 games haven't been great from him.
Not great as in contribution-wise, but he still looks good on the pitch.
He doesn't look bad, but then I think a top player, you have to say he's been like stand out the entire time. That's how you have to go with these things. So that's why I went for Zaccagni in the end.
For me, for example, Milinkovic-Savic won Lazio that derby.
Yes,
by getting what's his name sent off.
He played very well. He did play very well. But then, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I'll agree. He's also an honorable mention.
So flop. This was a hard one. Like, you're not gonna give it to Immobile, are you?
I did.
You gave it to Immobile.
I did, man.
He's got 9 goals and 3 assists.
Doesn't matter.
Expectations-wise,
Yeah, because I think you have to compare these players with what they usually do. Of course, 9 goals and 3 assists isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. But this guy scores 30 goals, 25 goals. He scores goals like it's nothing.
Yes.
And now, when they haven't signed a new striker, who had they gotten this year? They had gotten some young Italian guy, no? What's his name? That like he has like he's kind of tall. He has like a
Cancellieri.
Yeah,
he plays out wide. Though.
He plays, but he sometimes plays as a 9. Like, who else is there? Pedro, who's not, of course.
The young guy Romero comes on. He's not really a striker.
So my point being that they definitely had the plan that Immobile is still going to be the number 9. He's still going to be the guy who gets all those goals. They still build the team around him, and he's definitely not done that this year to the degree that they expect him to do. And I think one other issue is that although it's not his fault, injuries coming up more frequently, I think begs the question that he's not match fit enough, or maybe his time is starting to pass.
Yeah.
So if you expect a player to keep doing these things and he's getting injured, he's not performing as well, and there have been games where he hasn't looked great.
It's true. No. I mean, there are games where he's missed open nets, man. Chance after chance after chance. There was an episode in particular, I can't remember which one. We roasted him.
So that's why I've picked him. Who have you gone for actually?
Okay, so
Since you haven't gone for Immobile.
So I thought it was harsh simply because he has actually racked up quite a few contributions, and because of the injuries.
Last 2 years, man.
No, it's true, but you know, I thought the injuries were
they are harsh.
fair enough.
They are.
I put Lazzari, man. Lazzari has 0 goal contributions. Again, he looks out of place. He attacks and leaves a bunch of space behind him. Marisic looks better nowadays, and he hasn't managed to displace Marisic, who has been kind of a fringe player for Lazio for ages now.
But I think that ever since Sarri has joined, I don't think he's liked Lazzari. So could you consider him like the top flop? I agree, he's not good. I think he's probably going to go.
Yeah, he's had 17 games this season. I know he's played a lot,
They don't have many options, man. I mean, they have to replace Maruzic and so on because they had the Conference League or Conference League, no?
Yes.
So they have to replace.
No, Europa back then,
Europa League.
yeah.
So they have to replace and swap around. So he's gonna play. I mean, it's definitely a fair shout. I don't think he's been good, but
Immobile is probably
because of the expectations
yes.
wise, man. That's why.
Okay, so I probably you've probably swayed me a bit here. I have to say.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
I'm going to change mine to Immobile.
Nice.
Very good.
Let's
so
go.
Inter, top. Now I found this hard top for Inter.
I did, but then I came to realize that it's not that hard at the end of the day. There are definitely a number of very good players this season. There are a number of definitely very bad players this season as well. But I think the tops aren't what you'd go for, like the Martinez or like the Kahanoglu or Barella. They've all been good. Definitely. I'm not going to argue they haven't been good. They're better players, actually. But I think there are other players who kind of surprised. Because I think it's always, for me at least, this is how I did this. It's always depending on expectations.
Yes, that's fair enough.
Because, of course, you expect a player, and then you say, okay, this player was meant to score 10 goals, he scored 0, therefore flop. And this is how I think people reason these stuff.
Yeah.
So I've gone for Onana.
Onana?
Yes.
Okay.
I think for a guy who a year and a half ago wasn't playing football, and then came to a team with a keeper arguably who wasn't at his best anymore, but still people loved him, or people do love Handanovic, and there was still the fate of the coach. I think it wasn't that easy for him to come in and basically say, I'm number one. He had to fight for that spot. And I think he's fought. He's played some important games. He got them through to the fucking Champions League semi-finals.
True.
Quarterfinals, sorry. So, I mean, and there have been some games where I watched personally Inter. I've been following them quite closely this year. He has a number of incredible saves. Every game. Okay, not every game. Let me not be sensationalist. But you see him, like you watch a game of Inter, he'll make a save, and he'll make a very important save as well. They still lose, but they'd lose way more if it wasn't in goal.
It's true.
If there was Handanovic shooting long shots, no, Handanovic isn't bad. I don't think he's bad.
A listener of ours calls him Standanovic.
I mean, he doesn't like to dive, does he? On the other hand, he's diving like crazy, man, making crazy saves at points.
And his distribution as well is super as well.
Yeah, he's not nervous on the ball as well. I think he's been really good for them.
Yeah.
And actually, fun fact, they might trade Onana to get Chalobah and sign Lukaku.
I heard this.
So
yes.
that's, I mean, listen, you don't use that card down in a negotiation if he hasn't been one of your better players.
True. For my top, I actually put Barella on the boring route. Now
He's not boring. He's very good.
He's good, but you know what I can't stand, dude. I can't stand the complaining, the lack of team spirit. You know, like the fact that you're always blaming and flailing your arms. He's not the most ideal team player.
No, he isn't.
At all.
I agree with you, and that's part of the reason why I didn't pick him.
Yeah.
And there have been times where he's invisible. He'll then have 5 minutes where you're like, what the fuck is he doing? But then there's like 50 minutes of like, he's been a bit quiet. Sometimes I realize, is he playing?
Yeah.
But in the 5 minutes you'll be like, oh my god, he is playing.
Also, honorable mention Çalhanoğlu, because he had to play that Brozovic role and he did it pretty well.
I think I would pick him as my number 2, but I was really, really thinking about Acerbi.
Expectations wise, again, spot on.
This guy, like, who okay, he's gonna come in like as the fourth defender.
Yeah.
Almost on par with D'Ambrosio, who's far from the best. Okay, it was they had it settled. They had Skriniar, they had Bastoni, and they had De Vrij, sorry. And then this guy has come in slowly, had a few good games, and suddenly
he's their best one.
He's their best one, and by quite a
bit, yes.
You know, so yeah, I would have gone with Acerbi, I think, if I had picked Onana.
Acerbi, one man, one dream, one testicle.
I was actually wondering where you're gonna go with it, but I just realized he has one testicle. Like,
he's a fucking hero. What a figure to have in the dressing room.
He's nice. I don't know. I just like his attitude as well.
Yeah.
He's not that much of a cunt.
Not at all. Flop, shall we 3-1 and say it together, or do you want to say it one by one anyway?
I mean, I know we're not gonna agree.
We're not gonna agree. You haven't put Lukaku.
I haven't.
You put Dumfries?
No.
Oh my god, who have you put?
3. Wait, now it's not.
I've put Lukaku. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
3 goals and 1 assist all season, and he only started 9 games. Like, for me, expectations-wise, again, as you were saying, people were expecting him to come in and replicate the form that he had when Inter won the Scudetto, when he was basically unplayable.
Yes.
You give him the ball at the halfway line, he turns, and he has that burst of pace and power that you can't quite deal with.
Yes,
you know?
I agree. He's definitely not the same player, but they signed him injured.
That's true. Yes.
So, and I mean, okay, did they know how badly injured he was? Probably not, no. But he hasn't been match fit, and you could see that from the World Cup as well.
He hasn't been match fit because he's overweight, bro.
Listen, he was. I think he's in much better shape now. He's okay. I mean, okay, he could be leaner, but I don't know, a player like that, man, where you're so big, you're so tall, you can, like, when you're not training consistently and you're injured, I think it can easily show.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, sometimes Wayne Rooney has looked, I'm sorry to go to the Premier League, but
It's
sometimes
fine,
he's
it's
looked
just-
fucking fat.
He has
But
looked fat.
he'll still be relatively fit.
He looked fat when he scored that incredible goal against City, for example.
The bicycle
yeah,
kick.
yeah, he
I mean,
looked fat
look
back
at him.
then.
So I don't think the fitness is the major issue with Lukaku. I think he's definitely an emotional player. I definitely think he's upset with what he's done so far. But listen, if he had come back like the last 6 games, he's been playing on and off.
Yeah.
And he was playing at the level he had when he's played against Monza, and he was horrendous. I'd say I'd agree with you 100%. But
Yeah.
the last few games, he hasn't been atrocious.
His hold-up play has actually been pretty good.
And I've seen a number of times where he heads the ball towards Dzeko or
Mm.
Martinez or a winger. So he has been useful. Okay, he should be scoring. There are times where even against Sampdoria he missed, like a chance against out there where I think it was like a one-on-one and he didn't sky it, but it wasn't a great finish. His finishing isn't there still.
Yeah.
But he has contributed more. What I like to see is he hasn't been selfish.
True, no, quite selfless, especially.
Like, I think
in
he's
moments
realized
around
I'm not
the
going to
box.
score.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like tried to help the team in another way. And that's why I've picked Skriniar.
Fair enough. Isn't it also funny? You've picked Skriniar.
picked
I've just
Skriniar.
heard
I've
it.
picked
No,
Skriniar,
fair enough. I mean, he's led the team down,
He has
and
been
how?
a massive disappointment.
Yes.
I think that the team must feel betrayed. He was meant to be. There was this saga last year, like he's going to leave, and
Yeah.
then he said, no, I'm not, I'm going to stay. Like, Bomba, okay, we have our fucking best defender back, he's going to help us fucking push for the league. And at the beginning of the season, you were like, okay, he was playing and so on and so forth. But you could tell, definitely there was a difference in his performance. And then getting red cards sometimes out of nowhere,
Yeah.
playing recklessly, and then he comes in fucking January, and he wants to leave again. So for me, man, that to me is definitely the flop of the season.
Honestly, you're probably once again spot on because this guy, honestly, no, he's let everyone down, everyone
has,
around
man.
him, and he was the leader, the captain.
He was what Acerbi is meant to, was
Yeah.
what Acerbi is right now, leading the
Yeah.
team. And they've gone so far as to re-sign De Vrij now. De Vrij,
Yeah.
I keep saying De Vrij. So like the Inter definitely like are in a situation because they're going to lose him on a free, no, most likely.
Yeah.
So not only has he fucked them, they're not going to get money for him either. Okay, they free up the wages, they'll make money in other ways because he has like I think over 200,000 now.
Something like that.
So okay, money will be better allocated, but he still fucks them. Like even if he like I don't mind when a player leaves, but he's like, okay, I'll leave, but I'll give you the money.
Yeah,
That to me,
yeah.
I've always said, you know what, hats off to you.
Exactly.
You're a player.
Exactly.
He has
renew and leave, so they
he-
get the full fucking.
He has been such almost traitorish to be.
Yeah. Honestly, very, very unfair what he's done, and all that to go to PSG, like.
And look at
it just
PSG,
sums
man.
it
I
up,
mean,
doesn't
like
it?
you know.
Yeah. But isn't it funny how... sorry to change
No,
the subject.
go for it,
again.
go for it.
But Lautaro Martinez has scored 14 goals and set up 3 of his teammates for goals this season, and none of us put him as our top. Doesn't that say a lot about him as a player?
I think that he scores a lot of goals when it is already winning, though.
Yeah.
So like, do they matter? Sure, they matter because you help finish off a game. Important, very important. When he plays, most of the time he looks pretty good. But there have been games against big teams, Napoli. They had a big game lately. Juve, sorry.
Yeah.
And there have been a couple of others where he just looks invisible.
Yeah, vanishing act completely.
Invisible. But then he'll come against fucking, I don't know, Torino or Spezia and he'll score a couple of goals and they'll be good finishes. Like, they'll be great goals. Okay, he helps finish off the game. But, you know, Osimhen is that player we highlighted and have praised so much because he's doing that against any team.
Everyone.
Any team.
Yeah.
Same as, you know, other players, but who might agree on later on. So yeah, that's why.
Another tough one, bro. Milan.
At first, I actually skipped them.
Yeah, I left them to
And
the
then
end
I'm
as well.
like, hold the phone. I looked at the team again. I checked a bit. Of course, there could definitely be a great shout for Manyan, but he's been injured, and that has and he came injured at a time where the replacement and the team playing as they were really was terrible timing.
Yes.
And he has been injured a couple of times, so I think the case of Manya being injury prone It's risky.
You know about the rumors, right? What the Italian public were talking about.
I did follow, man, to be honest
And
with
there was a WhatsApp voice note going around, apparently. And there was this whole thing that Manyan had a secret coke addiction problem. And to make fun of it, and one of the goals that Theo Hernandez scored, him and Brahim ran up to the corner flag and started slapping their nostrils with their finger, like to make fun of the
Oh,
the rumors.
shit. Okay.
But it is weird that the guy, for such a simple injury, missed so many games.
But this happened last year as well. Wasn't it like something like his wrist and suddenly it was
Exactly.
broken?
Yeah.
And like how? Sorry, like I don't know, man. Like,
Pablo Mari got stabbed and made it back before him.
I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I'm really confused by that one. So my point being about Milan, he's a great keeper. I think he's number one, hands down. I'm not even going to argue against that. Emma, I feel like the fact that he does get injured quite often, or not quite often. Let me not be sensationalist again.
He does get injured quite
He gets injured at least once per season, and it's not like missing one game. It's missing quite a handful. I think something has to be said about the fitness of the player. Again, he's great, but I didn't pick him.
No, I haven't picked him as my top at all.
So who have you gone for? I'm curious.
Top, I've gone for Theo Hernandez, despite the absolutely abysmal performance that he had against Sassuolo, by the way, because that was one of the worst. That was individually.
I don't
as
care
a
about
performance.
one-ups though.
That was next level bad. That was I don't give a fuck bad.
But you never know, man. Maybe, man. I think sometimes what's sometimes difficult about football is like we expect these players to be like mentally fortuitous.
Sure.
And like they never get affected. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
So I always excuse a one-off game. Of course, it might fuck up my fantasy league for that week, or it might fuck up the team I like, which is Sassuolo this week, or whatever. But 1-2 games, I hate to go and just say he's trash.
No,
I think it's very unfair.
No, but it's the whole thing. My point of picking Theo is because he's typically Mr. Reliable, no? Like he plays pretty much every game. He puts in a shift both offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
He's capable of scoring and creating. He's kind of the full package you'd want as a left back. He gives you everything and more, and that's why I put him as top. And that one game kind of disappointed me a lot because I didn't think
games where he's not been great, but that one was.
But that one was a lack of trying.
Thank you.
What was the finals of 5-2?
5-2.
5-2. Fuck me. He has left Berardi. He's like, go, bro. You're one of the only Italian players that can go like left or right. Do what you want.
Berardi had such a game. Huh? Yeah. It was in a very upsetting season for him. He's been that was great to watch. That was like. I mean. I wish I was there. What do you mean? I would probably been stabbed like 12 times.
You would have been one of the 7 guys losing their mind at each goal.
Yeah.
Who's your top?
I picked Giroud.
Giroud, honestly.
I think if you're speaking about Mr. Reliable, it's been him, man. And you can't. There's nobody can change my mind. I'll die on that fucking hill. He has come again this season, where every season they say, okay, he's gonna slow down this season. He's fucking old, and he has played many games.
Way too many games.
Way more than you expected the guy to play. And fucking scores fucking last minute winners, scores super goals, fucking helps the team even when he's not scoring. And when you buy a player, which I think is arguably one of the worst signings of the league, Origi, who at first people thought, okay, this guy's going to come in, he's going to play for Milan, he might not start at the beginning, but he's going to replace Giroud, he's going to be number 9 at some point. And this guy, fucking Olivier Giroud, says, hold the phone, I'm still number 1, okay? Yeah. A fucking guy who is like fine wine, he's just not getting bad, ever. I mean, I think expectation-wise, again, man, he has definitely filled the boots. Again, because as well, Ibra has been invisible as well. Okay, we have had a back and forth, me and you. Sometimes you say he's still useful for the team. Okay, fair enough, I'll give you that. But I think they expected Ibra to play a few games this season.
More than this for sure.
So I think Giroud has saved your strikers has saved your team in a way. Yes. Imagine he hasn't been there. Imagine you just had Giroud this season. Oh, Origi.
Oh, yeah, that would have been fucking awful, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry, you would not be doing well. You would be. Pioli would have been fired, hands down.
And that's the thing. No, you're absolutely right. Giroud, when he was brought in from the get-go, he was never seen to be that guy who was meant to be starting every game. And at his age, he's like 36 years old, 35, 36, something like that.
Within the
And
frame,
he's playing full games twice a week.
and he plays well, man.
And he plays well.
He plays
yes, it's
well.
true.
Like even when he's not scoring, he's not like invisible.
Yeah,
he's still being
he's good.
annoying.
His back towards
hustling
goal,
and pushing
yeah.
people, and okay, he won't score, but then man, it'll be fucking. I think I saw it twice this season. Last minute, and he gets a fucking goal. This guy,
Yeah.
man, and he gets you 3 points. I mean, to me, it's like that's a savior, man. I'd love a player like that.
Fair enough. That's a good opinion. Obviously, Leao has been too streaky to talk about.
Yeah.
8 goals, 6 assists. Sure, they all came early on, but
Very,
he hasn't
very
looked.
early on.
He hasn't looked great.
He's killed my fantasy league for sure.
Flop, Origi.
I picked Origi, man. I think
Yes.
it's obvious.
Saturday night, and I hate the way you move. Divock Origi.
I remember when you fucking sent me that fucking voice message at the beginning of the season, and you were so hyped for this
Of
guy.
course.
And you kept telling me to shut up and be quiet and this and that. And I told you, man, okay, you'll wait and see. And I wanted to be proven wrong. I wouldn't have minded being
Yeah.
proven. I don't mind, whatever, I'm wrong. Who cares? I'm wrong, I say sorry. But this guy is shit. Selfish.
He's so selfish.
Shit. And he's just, I'm sorry to say, listen, even like personally, even when you're playing in a 5-a-side or you play a different sport, I play handball, for example, and there are these players who are so selfish and they're not even that good. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like strangling them. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry to say, like, I need a pin to deflate your ego.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man, this guy, like, he starts shooting and dribbling. I'm like, what are
And
you doing?
He takes so long to charge his shot up as well, you know?
And-
like he tees it up, it takes like 5 seconds
And
till he finally
sometimes,
actually
you know what,
shoots.
even if you're selfish, granted, pass the ball to Leao, open space and get the tap in. Like, what, does every goal have to be like the goal he scored in fucking Champions League semi-final?
Yeah.
You're like, like, dude, come on.
He's honestly, sometimes I wonder if it's footballing IQ.
I've never thought he's been a good player, and I've been saying that since some of my friends who love Liverpool have been shitting on him. So for me, like,
Regardless, this was still a good move for Milan because were they to flip him, if they flip him this summer, they could easily make 15 million off
I don't
nothing.
know if
you know?
he gets 15, but you'll
You
get some.
probably
You
do,
get,
no,
you
with
get some
that-
money.
that
You get some
CV.
money.
Yeah.
I mean, they might keep him, but I think you can't
God
afford to
forbid.
keep. You can't afford to keep him.
No.
Okay,
Roma?
I'm glad we're Roma. I mean, okay, where is? I should have done these. in
Roma
order.
are a good one, huh? Roma, their
Yeah.
top for me was obvious. I mean, it was between the defensive guy and the offensive guy, right?
Defensive
That's
guy,
what it was for me.
yeah.
I put Dybala as my
Okay,
top.
we're
Yeah.
on the like minds.
I mean, he's got 9 goals, 6 assists. He's played 18 games, coming twice off the bench as well. Apart from those, he's improved his consistency this season. That was the biggest
I
thing.
think that was the biggest thing. Yes.
Yeah, that we criticized him for when he was at Juve, the fact that he would play well in bursts. But this time he actually seems to be a bit more consistent. This is,
Yes.
of course, first behind, ahead of, Smalling.
I have the same logic here as well. Same thing exactly, and I mean I fully agree with you here. And I think that although Dybala still is the small team destroyer, even in bigger games, sometimes he's not scoring, but he's still getting assists. He's still being useful. I still think he has to be a bit better in the bigger games, and I think that the Roma team isn't good enough in general to defeat bigger teams yet. So I think with all things considered, he's done way better than anyone has thought. And I think an issue and a worry people had was, Dybala injury prone,
Yeah.
and I think he's been quite match fit.
He has.
I mean,
18 games.
and he came on a free.
Yeah.
So for me, man, I don't know. You can't say any otherwise.
To think that Inter were faced with the decision, should we go for Dybala or should we bring back Lukaku? Imagine they brought in Dybala.
I would have loved to see it, to be honest. I would have loved to see Dybala, Barella, Martinez, and maybe Dzeko.
Yeah.
That would have been so lovely to watch.
They already
So
play
lovely.
such fluid football at times. That would have been nice.
That would be so lovely to watch.
Flop? I think it's an easy one, no?
Yep,
Pellegrini, okay, fair enough. I have a different one, but fair
Abrahams?
enough. No, not Abraham. Abraham's actually picked up. a bit.
I think he's okay.
And he doesn't score very often, but he plays well. You know, you watch him play. He's
Play well.
his technique for his height, his
fair.
involvement.
Okay.
I don't think he's a flop. Belotti, bro.
I don't think so. You know why? Because I don't think they expected much from him, man.
22 league games, 0 goals. Striker.
He's not good. He's not been good. I might agree with. I actually forgot about Belotti a bit.
Yeah.
And he missed the penalty as well.
Yes. We haven't seen that celebration in ages.
I missed that fucking horn.
He told a story about that recently. That it was actually his friend's celebration when they were playing in the lower division.
So a way to give him some kind of camaraderie.
And he told him like, "I'm gonna come watch you. If you score, promise you'll do the chicken celebration." It was his celebration. Apparently, his friend was late to the stadium. Within the first 2 minutes, Belotti scored, did the celebration, and his friend missed it.
Oh no! No way!
But yeah.
Fuck that. Okay.
But Pellegrini again, the whole expectations point, right?
I think that, but here's where I might actually revert my choice and go with Belotti, because I feel like Mourinho is definitely not playing where he wants to play.
Okay.
So he's not going to be scoring the same goals. So I think expectations have to be readjusted then. So if this guy's not meant to be scoring many goals, maybe okay, then okay, he only has 3 assists. So is that enough for a player of his caliber? Probably not.
No.
But it's more me sometimes. I just see him. He has that vanishing act.
Yes, and even for example, you see a counter-attack situation. He's got the ball. They're 4 against 3,
slow.
and he shoots. He shoots from a distance instead of setting people up.
I think he has that idea to score. I think he misses scoring, man.
Yeah,
and I think it's getting to him a bit. But I think I have to agree with you about Belotti.
Yeah.
That stat, you can't hide it. And I'll revert my decision.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Belotti's only had 4 starts in reality, but 22 appearances.
There are some games where he
score.
should have scored.
Yeah.
Atalanta,
it's getting fun. Top is, again, quite straightforward, isn't it?
I don't know. We'll see. I picked Højlund.
You picked Højlund, very nice
Yes.
decision. I picked Lookman.
I wanted to, because I feel so proud.
Yeah.
When I picked
Because you
it.
took him on fantasy football, you bastard.
But then I have to consider that the last 7 games not scoring a single goal, and there have been games where Atalanta has been losing, and it's come to the point where Gasperini's had to rotate Muriel back into the squad. That's why I didn't give it. I wanted to. I really wanted to, but I feel like even when Højlund wasn't scoring and Lookman was taking all the action, he was still there. He was still involved. And now Højlund's been scoring pretty consistently. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has 7 goals in 7 games.
Højlund?
Something crazy like that.
He's got, 7 goals and an assist in 7 games.
I mean, okay, yes, you can compare that form with Lookman at the beginning of the season. He was on fire. And I want to be wrong. So I want to be wrong and say Lookman comes back, and I think these 2 weeks are going to be important for him to have maybe reset his mind a bit. I just feel like Højlund being such an unknown, an invisible player, I think that's why I gave it to him. Because Lookman, he's coming from Premier League, he has experience in a number of clubs. They knew what they were buying. Of course, probably they didn't expect to see a guy scoring so many goals. But I think they had this like kind of scouting around him, and they probably anticipated a couple of goals from him. Højlund, nobody can tell me that they expected this guy to be scoring like he's scoring and playing like he's playing as well.
Just those incredible Atalanta scouts, man. They know what's up. It's crazy.
These guys deserve a coach with a bunch of strippers.
Yeah, there we go.
Flop.
So yeah,
I don't know whether you want to continue about. Actually, I'm curious to see what you say about Lookman.
Lookman, for me, it's just the fact that Atalanta have looked so blunt as an offensive weapon this season. Like at times they really haven't got it together. And Lookman has managed to create something out of nothing in many situations. Not only scoring and assisting.
That's true.
He's got 12 goals and 4 assists so far this season. I think he was a revelation. Granted, Højlund has exploded. It's come towards the latter part of the season, of course. Well, not necessarily, actually. He's been scoring pretty much throughout.
But even at the beginning, he had either got an assist or a goal. Lookman was just 2 goals, 1 goal. But, okay, at the beginning, it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you were bound to see it drop.
It's true.
But this guy, that's why I just say Højlund's the long game here.
No, that's definitely the case. That's definitely the case. Hoyland is one for the future.
Yes.
I bet you right now, if anyone were to even look at him, it's 40, 50 million.
Of course, man, you can't.
He's scoring hat-tricks for Denmark.
It's crazy, dude. It's
Denmark were playing with Cornelius up the last year. Up
You remember
front.
that guy?
Cornelius, dude.
fucking wait, Parma, right?
With Parma back
My
in the
God.
day. Cornelius would score 9 goals a season.
He wasn't
And
bad,
only in
Cornelius,
3 games, and they'd all be hat-tricks.
He was a bad player. I remember, man. He used to score against me.
Yeah. Flop, Atalanta. For me,
I know what you're gonna say. People are gonna say Muriel, aren't you?
yeah, Muriel, bro.
You know,
Definitely Muriel.
I don't think so. You know what?
Definitely Muriel,
Okay,
dude.
let me see. Let me
Yeah.
hear it. Let me hear it. Go on.
Luis Muriel, when you look at Luis
hiding
Muriel
my choice.
2 years ago,
Okay.
you're looking at a player over here who was
Crazy.
unplayable.
Yes.
Unplayable. The closest player to the Brazilian Ronaldo that was in the league, and that's completely unironic, right? It's true. The way he would fucking take people on like they were, and they'd round the goalkeeper and just tap it in. You know what I mean? He was absolutely unplayable. Now, not only does he look unfit, he's also lost that kind of creative spark that he
Yes.
once had.
Yes.
And he's only got 1 goal and 2 assists so far this season.
But he's barely played, man.
But has he barely played? Because
I mean, but you have to consider the amount of times he's only come on, man.
he's played 18 games.
But I'm pretty sure a majority of them have been him coming on.
Well,
Because you have to see Lookman and Zapata, or it's been Lookman and Hoyland.
Yeah, but you know, this is
Listen,
kind of the Gasperini system now, where he rotates. He gives pretty much a
Yes.
half to everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, he's had 7 starts so far in
So
the Serie A
it-
this season.
with
7
one-
starts or 1 goal and 2 assists. That's not even too bad.
It's
to
not
be fair.
terrible, man. I mean, listen, he's definitely not the same. But you know what I'm going to say?
Who?
Muriel, I think, look, listen, 2 years ago you say this guy is a fucking star. But last year, and well, last year primarily, you see how he wasn't the same player.
Yes, yes.
So like this season, could you expect him to just finally like come out of nowhere again? Because he's not been fit. Like he even at the beginning of the season, he wasn't fit. So
I guess you had the opportunity to say, he had an off year, an off season. But now, everyone's saying like, he's kind of finished.
he wasn't even my second choice.
You have Duvan Zapata.
I have Duvan Zapata.
I don't blame you at all, honestly.
I think he's worse because he's been the guy like the last 2 seasons, 16 goals, 15 goals, and then last year 10 goals, which wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But still, there you could start to see, okay, what's wrong with this guy? Like, what's
He
going on?
acts like
I'm
he's
pretty
34 years
I'm pretty
old.
sure he has 10 goals. I'm like 99%. So with that being said, I think you see that guy. You say, okay, maybe last year wasn't his best, but okay, he has a new season now. He's back to.
Duvan Zapata's got 1 goal and 1 assist in 10 appearances.
But
this
I'm talking
season.
about last
7
year.
of the- Oh,
No, this year he's been
okay, I was
horrendous.
going to say 10
No,
goals.
he's been horrible this year. I mean, that's why I'm picking him because this year he's been he has 10 goals.
He's got literally bang on 10 goals.
So and you compare it with this year where he started quite a few games,
Yes.
but even when he plays, he looks super bad. But I'm not gonna keep speaking about Zapata because you know who I picked? I picked Pasalic.
Pasal. Oh my god. Okay.
And you know why? Because I feel like this player has always been that fucking underdog, like, when you're fucking playing a card game and you're like, haha, you think you've beat me?
Yeah.
Here's my special card, and I beat you, and here's Pasalic for the half of the season. And he starts scoring and playing like fucking a god. And like the last 2 seasons, he scored like 6 or 7 goals each season. And like this season, he's barely played. When he comes on, I honestly think he maybe touches the ball like 5 times. I'm going to be sensationalist here, of course I am. But the performances aren't even there as well. And like, this is a guy where Gasperini is like, okay, I don't need to play you every game, but when I play you or when I bring you on, I know that the fucking opponent's going to have to worry their ass off. And they're not worried about this guy, man. So I don't know what's wrong with him this year.
I think he's playing further away from goal, to be honest, as well.
That-
He's a high IQ player. Huh?
But I feel like
That's-
he's got some like Ilicic issue going on as well. Like he just looks. I don't think he looks the same player, man. To me,
It could be. It could once again be the system. Like you look at the Croatia international break games. He got 2 assists.
yeah.
for
But then
them
what's
there.
happening at Atalanta? Okay, is it the team? Then
It might be because
Then
the
maybe-
numbers have decreased literally all round when you look at the guys who've been there for a while. Granted, Hoyland and Lookman are thriving. They've just arrived. But then you look at the old guard.
Yeah.
You look at Zapata,
So, you know
Muriel,
what?
Pasalic, Coop Miners. Their numbers have all kind of.
Kumar
Koop Miners is 6'8", I think. 6 goals, that's pretty fucking lit.
He's been good. He's been good. So, okay, maybe I won't pick Pasalic. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll still pick Zapata over Muriel.
Fair enough, okay.
Muriel just looks like a fat slob, man. Yeah. He's just not there anymore, man.
Yeah.
So next is Juve, I guess.
So, yes, next is, 1 second, Juventus. My top, Kostic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
3 goals, 8 assists, does the impossible job of connecting Allegri's defense to Allegri's attack, because those two things are typically extremely isolated. And Kostic does it brilliantly, honestly.
I
He's so good.
I think it's been a good signing for them. I think they made a good buy there.
You got Rabiot?
No.
No, not even.
People are gonna lose credit. Like, I think I've rocked this episode.
You've done really well.
But now everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
We're almost an hour in. If you want to wait 6 more minutes.
I've picked Gatti.
Gatti as their top, as their best player.
I think again because of expectations, man.
Okay, fair enough.
I think a player like him in a 3-man defense where they had Bonucci, they had Bremer. Okay, these guys are granted. They're the 2 players who've been playing, and they're solid. And then these guys come in. I barely knew of this fucking person before he even started playing this season. And some of the performances he's had have been like, you don't pass me. Yeah. Against Inter, for example. Okay, this is a particular, but he had a crazy game.
Yeah,
he could have scored. Lukaku could have scored twice. He stopped 2 balls. And it's not even against just Inter. He's had other games where he's been actually really good at stopping balls. And I just feel like actually it was going to be him or Bremer, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then Bremer had some really bad foulers. So that's why I've picked him, because I think
Danilo's an unsung one as well. Huh?
He's been pretty good as well, yeah. But I struggled. I didn't want to pick Kostic because I feel like sometimes he's also been a bit invisible. But you make a good argument. But I've picked Gatti. I struggled with you, to be honest. I really did struggle.
It's true.
I don't know
7 appearances, 1 off the bench for Gatti. I mean, he's looked solid, and people have been calling for him to become a starter and even to be called up for the national team.
Yeah, but maybe see the top of the season. I don't know. Maybe I did really
top of the season is a bit of a stretch in my opinion.
Maybe. I struggled though.
You've got Di Maria as well, who's a fucking great shot.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's. No. People praise him a lot, but I think for what you're buying Di Maria. This is hype. Oh, older players coming to Italy, they can do fucking amazing work. Granted, they can. I think they expected a bit more from him. He's been injured as well. Yeah. And he hasn't scored that many goals, and he's not playing in a position.
He's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 16 games. So the numbers are there ratio-wise, but the fact that he's only played 16 games, right?
Not only that, man, but this is Di Maria, man. This is not like, I don't know, Lookman coming to the league.
Yeah.
I think Lookman would have been fine with 16 and 4, but this is Di Maria. Plays for Real Madrid, plays for Man U, plays for PSG.
Yeah.
Now plays for Juve. 4 goals? I don't know. They didn't tickle my jams.
Today I feel gay.
Who is that?
That's what's his name, the chairman, the FIFA president.
Oh my God!
Yes. What's his name? Fuck me. I forgot.
You know what? FIFA.
They don't deserve. It doesn't deserve the shout.
FIFA means nothing to me. Yeah. I think
Flop.
next is oops.
Pogba.
He's, you know what? You told me someone has to play at least 5 games.
So that's why has played 35 minutes all season. So you're right.
So I didn't pick him and I picked Cuadrado.
Okay, fair enough. But another player who's aging, 35,
yes,
36.
but I think consistently they've always relied on him. And I think the fact that they didn't reinforce in that position maybe begged the question that they thought that they could get another season in him. Yeah. He's played the season, he's played a number of games, so it's not about appearances. I think it's just about he lost his spark, he lost his flair a bit, and that's what Cuadrado had, that space out there, that speed, that agility, that flair that he usually could beat a player, sometimes even score. He hasn't even scored this season. Or maybe he scored 1 goal.
I think he scored in the derby against Torino. He always scores in the derby.
He scored 1 goal. But still, maybe they kind of expected him not to be having a great season. But I think he's a bit of a flop this year. But I think if we don't reinforce in a position like that, which is really important for Juve, because the way they play their team, they always, they've been playing 3-5-2 for so long.
It's true.
So I think not reinforcing on the right back / right wing back. Sorry, I think you must have really thought Cuadrado was going to have at least one more season in him.
And then you look at the alternative, it's De Sciglio, and then you look at that,
mean-
he's not good enough. You end up playing Chiesa as a right wing back, which isn't ideal.
this is why I feel like it's him.
Fair enough. Not a bad
you?
shout at all.
And you-
Seems like you have an anti-Colombian agenda. Okay.
It's through Zapata, fucking Cuadrado.
No, I mean, I put Pogba, but come to
I mean,
think of it,
definitely,
it's
bro.
not, yes, but...
But who would you pick? Just
Five
you know, quick fire. Who would you go for?
Paredes, dude.
Okay, fair enough. They probably expected more from a
Paredes.
guy who coming from PSG.
Like,
Yes.
he's coming, and they've been starting people I've never even heard of instead of him.
Fair.
They've got so Fagioli and Miretti have made themselves a staple in the starting 11 because Paredes has
They're
been so
great, huh?
inconsistent. They're great. They're very
They're
good
fucking
players. They're
good,
amazing.
man.
And even the other guy, the holding midfielder with the B, Barincha.
Then there's that guy Illing coming in. sometimes.
Illing Jr. is a fantastic
Like these
winger.
players, man, Juve they keep them and they don't fucking fuck up for the first time ever and sell their fucking youth players. Give them a couple of seasons, man. They could be dangerous, huh?
Yeah, they're on their way to becoming a super team again.
Yeah, they are.
With this generation.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think Paredes is a bit of a flop. I agree with you.
Paredes, yeah. So Udinese, bro.
I mean, to me, it's obvious.
The top,
Come on.
Pereira.
What?
You put Beto.
Of course I put bet
No,
on, man.
He scores in spells. He scores in
Doesn't
bursts.
matter,
Not
bro.
for
This
me.
guy does
Pereira.
everything. This guy does everything, man.
He's got 9 goals, 1 assist, okay?
Beto.
Yes.
Okay.
9 goals, 1
Yes.
assist, sure. But again, he's not, when he's invisible, he's invisible. Like you said, you know, he's kind of, he does the vanishing act thing. And he scores, when he scores 1, he doesn't often only score 1. He gets a brace, he gets 3. So in reality, how many goals has actually Beto scored in
enough.
this season? And look at Pereira as a player. It's like the older he gets, the harder he works. He doesn't stop running. His industry is next level when it comes to Pereira. And I really appreciate that trait in players. You look at him, he's got 4 goals, 6 assists. Not bad. He's consistent. He's combative. He's a killer. For me, it's Pereira.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, I'd agree with you. He's definitely been good, but I just feel like Beto. I think even when Beto doesn't score, this guy can run like a freak.
Yeah, that's
Nobody's gonna boss him off the ball, and he's fucking got great finishing as well. Okay, I agree with you. He sometimes scores double goals in a game and stuff like that, but he has the vanishing act. He does. But even when he's not scoring, when he's not fucking, on his top form, he is such a threat. I've seen him countless times this season. There's a ball, like, in the middle of the opponent's half, and he gets the ball. And this guy starts, like, 10 meters behind the team, behind the defenders, and he gets the ball, and he's like, creating pressure. And then Udinese come up forward, and he can give the ball to Samardzic. And, it's like... I don't know. I think this guy has got something in him. I used to not think he's that great, but I feel like I'm definitely wrong. I feel like he can go to another team next season, a big team, a Roma, a Lazio, or whatever, and he can make he can destroy this league, man.
I mean, 25 years old for a striker is not old at all. He's got plenty of time. Once again, 19 games, 9 goals, 1 assist are not bad numbers at all. The fact that Udinese probably had that
They
dip.
don't score a lot, man.
Yeah.
And they had the dip, and I don't know. I just think he's been so good. He's been so fucking good. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he hasn't always performed, but there are games, man, where he's just there and he just tells you, you know what? Thanks for playing. I'm winning this game for my team. You can fuck off.
This one's mine.
And I think that's important because he wins points for a team who need points.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Pereira, very good as well. I'm not going to argue against you. But I still feel like Beto, man, in a team like that, Udinese, where they've struggled to have a fucking great striker.
Fair enough.
I think they have to be so happy to have him.
Fair. No, definitely, yes. He brings something to these, to Udinese, something that Torino, for example, don't have and haven't had since Belotti. It's very important to have a striker with these attributes as well. Even when you're defending, you play the ball up to Beto, he's going to win you a minute. Just hustling and fighting and trying to keep the ball there. Very good player. When it comes to other candidates for top, yes, as you mentioned, Samardzic, 4 goals, 3 assists. He's growing.
But I can't say he's the top.
No,
He's been very good,
yes.
but not the top.
Good understudy to Pereira, definitely. Destiny Udoji is very good as well, of course. Once again, linking the defense to the attack. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists. He's always one of the best for Udinese. And I think he's actually owned by Spurs nowadays.
So for flops, who did you go for?
So, it's unfair, but I went for Thovan.
Oh, that's rough, man.
It's rough. But look. Look.
Yeah. Okay, the stats are there, fair. Hey, go on.
He's a player who has been
Playing in
sought
Mexico.
after by top teams for a while. No, you look at the likes of Milan, for example, they've had him on the radar for so long. Every market stuff, Thovan. The fact that in 7 games for Udinese, he's managed 1 start. That to me is a bit floppy. I'm not going to say. Granted,
I just don't think he's match fit, or he's not just there yet.
He's playing in Mexico, right? You
He's
said.
playing in Mexico, man. When probably half the time they're fucking smoking cigars in halftime.
Who's your flop? Because you said it was unfair.
Silvestri.
Silvestri, no chance. I disagree.
You disagree?
Yes.
I think that he's not the same keeper he was last year. I don't think he's been bad, but I just don't think there's a real flop on that team. And I think just performances-wise and expectations-wise, he has had a few bad games. And he has had a few games where you're like, this is not the same player.
He's made certain
characteristical
errors.
That's what I'm talking about.
But he has a really unlucky statistic. We actually discussed in the last episode. So, Silvestri has never saved a penalty in Serie A.
Oh my God.
But in the last 12 months, he's saved 3. And you tell me, how the fuck is that possible? Because every single time it was retaken for encroachment.
Oh my lord. That is rough.
That's rough, dude. I don't know. I wouldn't call Silvestri the flop on that team. I don't know. Honestly, it's hard to pick one.
I don't think Thovan.
Isaac's success, people would argue. I like Isaac's success. I like the way he plays.
Fair enough. I don't think he's great, but again, you don't expect him to be scoring loads of goals.
Yeah. Okay, so let's agree there to disagree. We've got Thovan and Silvestri. Let us know what you think. The flop on this weird team. Fiorentina up next.
Ooh.
Top was another rough one for me.
I just went Terracciano, man.
Terracciano, honestly, probably a
Because
safe
I
shout.
struggled.
The most consistent player on that team by far.
I think so, and I just think that every season they buy a new keeper or they get a new keeper, and he somehow always ends up playing.
Yeah, it's true.
They got Golini this year. He's fucking at Napoli now. That's the flop this guy has been. And the season before he had come in. I mean, he was still there, but they had Dragowski, but he was injured. Then this guy came out of. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, okay, this guy is pretty fucking decent, and he's just been a staple ever since, man.
He looks like your average pizzaiolo, but he's incredible.
Well, man, for a fucking average Pizziola, I wouldn't mind being him.
There we go.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I just picked him. I just think he's been consistent. He has had a number of great saves. He has saved Fiorentina at times, and I just think that if you have him in goal, you feel relatively safe.
Yes, I agree. And probably I would have to agree with you actually for him in the top spot as well.
Okay.
I put Mandragora, but I put it very half-heartedly because it's mostly about recent performances, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that Mandragora has had a rough career because the second he gets to the point he's at now in his career, he gets a detrimental injury. Every time.
I never knew
And
that.
it's been that since his Juventus days because he was a Juventus youth product, Mandragora. Spent some time at Torino as well, he's moved around. And it's always been the same story with him, pick up form, get injured, have to start again from ground zero.
Yeah.
But this year he's actually been quite consistent, and now it's at that point where he typically gets injured. So let's hope he can keep going.
Let's see. That would be a pity if he does.
Honestly.
Okay. I guess we have to go towards
The flop.
Oh, the flop of
Fiorentina.
I mean,
Jovic.
it's obvious.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is I expect to score 30 goals this
Yeah,
season.
I remember you saying.
And I'm like,
You were so hyped.
I'm like, yes, I got him 30 goals.
How
I
much-
fucking
how much did he pay?
He's paid 170 for him.
170 from 1,000 credit. That's not bad, to be fair.
No,
but
it's man. We're in a 10-man league.
Yeah,
It's very bad.
it's
Okay,
rude.
I'm happy I had fucking. No, that's in the 8-man league. Oh no, that's super bad. Though.
Yeah.
Because he was one of my. I had
4
him,
goals this season.
Dybala and fucking and Leao. I was like, oh, I'm solid, man. I have the best, three great strikers. 4 fucking goals, and 2 of them have come recently.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
he's not been great.
Fuck him. Listen,
Cabral's been much better.
yes, I'll say one thing. Lately, the last few games, he's been much better.
Yes.
He's been more there, he's been more imposed, and even when he's not scoring or he's not, effectively changing the game, he has shown his presence.
Yes.
At the beginning of the season, he looked super bad.
Super bad. And
Super bad.
in interviews, he actually said that he views Fiorentina as a stepping stone. I can't wait to see what comes next in my career. You better make a name for yourself
Yes.
here before you end up downgrading.
Sounds like Pinamonti to me.
Exactly. There we go. Bologna. Always fun, Bologna. Top for me, hands
Don't
down.
say Arnautovic.
Not Arnautovic,
Okay,
no.
okay. That's what I'm saying.
Arnautovic top for the first 10 games of the
Yes.
season,
And
maybe.
then, as usual, he goes bye-bye.
Exactly.
Or Solini.
Or
man.
Solini top.
I mean,
wow,
this
dude.
guy has...
Yeah.
This guy... The most important thing to mention about this guy, he's always been good. Everyone knows
Mm-hmm.
that. But at the end of last season, at the beginning of the season, there were questions he's going to leave. He
Yes.
wasn't playing. He wasn't playing at all.
And it happens to him quite often, poor guy.
And then he Arnautovic gets injured. They're struggling to score goals. This guy comes back into the squad. Bam! He's scoring goals. He's scoring winners against Inter. He's dribbling players. He's scoring from outside the box. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy has been sensational this season.
Honestly.
Sensational, man. I would maybe say, if Milan need a right winger, they should buy Orsolini.
Sure,
man.
yes. Why not? He's definitely better than Messias and Salamakers. He's been the main man for
He has, man. He
Bologna.
has.
Motta has put his trust in him fully, and this guy is in charge of anything offensive that goes Bologna's way. 7 goals and 3 assists.
And you have to consider this is at a time where Arnautovic got injured. They were now twiddling their thumbs like, okay, we lost our goal scorer. He's coming and be like, no problem, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's in my hands now. You can play Zirkzee up front, but I'll do the
Because if
scoring,
I'm
no
not
problem.
mistaken, most of his goals, the majority of them came after Arnautovic was injured.
Yes.
So I mean, man, that has to be considered as very, very valuable.
Yeah. Now the question is, who do you put as your flop? Because Bologna they don't really have a player who's stand out terrible to me.
No. I have it. Not. But I think based on the player he is, I picked Soriano.
Fair enough. But he's, again, if you look at the
Yes.
past 3 seasons, would you have expected anything from
But
him
he
this year?
scores more, at least more than this, man. And
But
I
not
think
last season.
fair enough. I just feel like he's progressively getting worse.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
I
it.
think that's the reason. And that's the reason why I picked him, because out of that whole team, there aren't many players where you're like, okay, he's bad. I just think Soriano is just looking every season worse and worse and worse. And he even lost the captain's armband this season. So I think that goes to show that people stopped having faith in this guy. He's no longer that bulldog that they wished he was. He looks like a puppy now, man.
True. And
He
he only
just
shows
looks
up
flaccid,
on
man.
certain games. And when he
Yeah.
does, it's a joy, but he doesn't do it consistently.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't go for someone in the starting 11.
Okay.
I went for De Silvestri because he's disappeared. And
He's old, man.
He's old, but he's not that old, bro.
He's 34, man.
De Silvestri, right?
Yeah, he's
But you look at a player with the importance that this guy has. He's 34 years. So in the dressing
that
room,
isn't young.
everyone talks about how when they join Bologna, it's always De Silvestri who makes them feel at home. It was the same thing when he was at Torino. No? He's this leader, this charismatic figure, this amazing person who a simple 5-minute interaction with him or a few second interaction with him will actually stay with you for a while. Like, he's one of those people, a great man, a grande uomo, as they describe him, no? But I don't know. I feel like at this stage in his career, with his size and his skill set, he could have transitioned to one of the members of a 3 at the back.
Listen, I understand your points, but I think you're speaking in a lot of hypotheses. And I think if you just look at Soriano, I think just because he plays so much more and he's just not been effective, I think that's why I picked him.
Fair enough.
I agree with you that De Silvestri hasn't, or he could have easily grown back into that team. But
It's mostly because I'm disappointed because I really love De Silvestri.
he's good, man. But I just think it's time for him to just say, like, okay, let me go to a Lecce or something, and I'll enjoy 1 or 2 more seasons in Serie A. And then
Good luck starting for Lecce with Jean-Dre playing. Jean-Dre.
So Torino,
Top.
I picked.
Is he Russian?
I didn't pick Miranchuk, man.
You didn't pick Miranchuk?
No, because he's been streaky.
Did you pick Vlasic?
Nope.
He's been streaky as well. But
Yes.
his injury.
Guess who I picked? If I didn't pick those two.
Vanya Milinkovic-Savic.
I sure did, man.
You know what, dude? Once again, respect.
He has been a fucking brick
Incredible,
wall.
eh?
And people meme about this guy.
Yeah.
They meme about him. And then this guy, I think, if anyone memes about him ever again, I'm going to whip out my cock and slap them in the face. This guy has done some saves. You're like, and this guy's 6'8", dude.
Yes, dude.
And he's more flexible and agile than me. And I'm
Yeah.
fucking 5'8", okay? I'm a fucking foot shorter than this motherfucker. And he's making saves like it's nobody's business. He's diving from one side to the other. He's fucking looking like he has 12 hands.
Yeah. He could pick you up and toss you across the room like it's
I'll
nothing.
get raped,
bro.
like.
Yeah, probably. That's okay. So, yes, when it comes to Torino, again, you look at the likes of Vlasic, Sanabria, Miranchuk, all
Yeah,
good on their
all
day,
good, yes.
but quite streaky. So I'll have to
Yes.
agree with you over
Yes,
there.
yes.
Mr. Consistency himself is Vanya Milinkovic-Savic. And it's just insane, no? Watching him even take a goal kick, by the way. It's just so comical. He's way too large to be taking a goal kick. It looks almost like an animation, no? Like an orc or something from Lord of the Rings.
It's like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah. But anyway, flop. For me,
Radonjic.
fair, but you know, I think he's been scapegoated a bit.
I don't think so.
I think, what's
know-
his name? Juric.
You know what Juric said?
Yeah, he said.
I can't make a football player out of him.
Exactly.
I mean, man, if your coach tells you
but
that...
after he said that, he got a goal and an assist.
No shit, because he wanted to
Right
hype him up a
after,
bit.
yeah.
But I think that there's something. Man, you know why I say that? Because Juric is not the kind of coach to just say those kinds of things.
But he wasn't marking his man on a corner in the Roma game. That's why he said it. He said
He's
that you
been-
should know to mark
He's been
him.
very on and off, man, and
Yes.
more off than on.
Yes.
I think if you compare the rest of the team, there aren't many bad players, man. Shores has played well.
Very well, Shores.
Singo hasn't been the same Singo of last
Mm-hmm.
year, but still he's a threat. Miranchuk has played well, not in every game. Vlasic has played well, not in every game. Fair enough. Sanabria has gone above expectations because they probably expect him to score one goal.
Yeah.
And he scored way more.
It's the whole with Sanabria. It's the Giroud effect. He's not meant to be the main guy, but he's just putting in a
he's
shoot.
been doing it. He's been doing a good
That's-
job.
that's what
Richie
the-
has been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Not great, not the same as Empoli, but still doing pretty well. Who am I missing?
My flop is Pietro Pellegrini.
Fair enough.
Because
fair
you
enough.
bring in a striker who's 21 years old, blew up in his first season in Serie A, 16 years old with Genoa scoring goals. Then he went off to France, he went to Milan. Milan tried to rehabilitate him, didn't quite manage. Now he has this second chance at fucking Torino to make
But
something
is
out
he
of
a
himself.
flop if he's been
But-
looking worse and worse?
But here's the thing. Torino this season, ever since again Bellotti left, Torino have had this hole in their team up front, right?
Sure, yes.
And they try to fill it every season with the most random, obscure names, right? So it's always all right, exactly. It's Miranchuk false nine, Demba Sek up front, Karamoh up front, you know, playing. Karamoh has been explosive.
But they definitely need a striker.
They need a striker, right? So
Badly.
Pietro Pellegrini has the profile, right, for it. He's
Sure.
young, Italian, has it in his DNA, you know, scoring goals since he was young.
Maybe he's just not that kind of. Maybe he's just not that good, man. So can he be considered a flop if the last few seasons he's just not shown that? That's why I kind
It's
of.
injuries, though. That's the thing.
Fair
yeah.
enough. Listen, I don't think either choice is bad here.
Yeah.
I just feel like Radonjic. You know what I think as well about Radonjic? He's very selfish as well. And sometimes he makes some very questionable decisions when he's on the run with the ball.
Yes.
Like he'll dribble and he'll take the ball out of the box,
Yeah.
out of the goal, and he'll give a goal kick. I'm like, are you kidding
Just
me?
to keep running.
Just
right?
keep running. Like, what, you want to keep dribbling? Congratulations, man.
You're right.
I think Sassuolo's next, right?
Sassuolo are next, bro. Your boys. Top, huh?
My boy. I mean, for me, it's an obvious.
It's
top.
obvious, but it's not your heart's decision, right? It's your head's decision.
Listen, Berardi, I love you, bro, but I can't give it to him. You know, no matter what he's done against Milan, I'm sorry, man. You've just been injured. I know it wasn't your fault. All right, I forgive you. It's been a rough season. I respect that you've come back and been mature and not been a baby and flailed your hands. And when people score and it's not you, you've been appreciative. But Oreo Lonte has just been absolutely fucking unplayable.
He's been so good.
He has been so good. Hands off to whoever bought him and decided to bring him in because this guy, this guy is just this guy's just a machine.
Even the stats: 7 goals, 6 assists in 20 games for Sassuolo.
Even if you know what, even if you just don't tell someone that,
Yeah.
I just tell you, listen, guy, woman, look at that player this day.
Yeah,
Look
just
at that
watch
player.
him.
Just watch him and tell me what you think. And this guy is dribbling. All I'm gonna say, the one pet peeve I have about him is he's not a 90-minute player. At the 70th minute, you clearly see he gets tired and he's gassed out.
Yes, it happens with players of that.
But for 70 minutes, man, this guy, you give him a chance, he's dangerous. He's not gonna score, guaranteed. You give him a chance, he's dangerous. He is very fucking dangerous, man.
Yes, and he's been super in Berardi's absence. He stepped up and
so
he
much.
carried the team
So
on his
much,
shoulders,
so much,
right?
so much.
And especially the fact that the strikers haven't really been doing anything as well. You look at Berardi though; he's played 14 games, 14 starts since his return, 6 goals, 5 assists. So he's still there.
He's
still
not been
there.
bad, man.
He's still there.
He's not been bad, not at all. I think he's gonna get 10 at least.
Yes. Flop.
I mean, is it hard?
It is hard because mine is different to yours, I bet.
If you
You've
don't-
got Pinamonti,
If
right?
you don't pick Pinamonti, man,
Mine isn't Pinamonti.
you know what?
Because Pinamonti is
Get out.
young enough to
Go
say
out.
maybe the second season you expected from
leave.
him, right?
Okay, who have you picked? Let me know.
I have picked, so as someone who plays like he's 30 fucking 7 years
Ferrari.
old. Yes. But Ferrari, I'm sorry, bro. Ferrari is 30 years old. 30 years old as a centre back is meant to be your prime. He was way better 3 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago, last season. He's just, as you mentioned before with, for example, I forgot who it was. He's getting worse and worse and worse, right? Ferrari is getting worse and worse and worse so early on in his career.
Zapata was both.
Zapata,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, he's getting worse and worse.
Fair enough, man. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not
Ferrari
gonna
this year
defend him.
has, oh my god, some of the things he's done at
But
the
he
back
has,
there.
he has had some good games.
Yes.
And you know what? I can't say Pinamonti has had one good game. no, I can't say he has, man. I can't say, wow, today he has been good. He hasn't had one good... Man, I'm saying this, and I'm sad, because I said, I was happy. When I heard that they're signing Pinamonti, I'm like, that's a fucking smart decision. They weren't going for a risk. This guy scored 13 goals for Empoli. He's played his 4th season in fucking Serie A. He's not a nobody. I'm like, fucking well done, Sassuolo. It's the best they could buy in the situation they were in. They lost Scamacca, they lost Raspadori. Who can you buy?
Devil's advocate. He's young. He needs time to gel with the team, learn the system.
No, man. You know what, man? I agree with you, but the thing is, like, again, I'm gonna take it out of we can remove it from the professional sport. Let's just take it as a sport. You can take yourself as a five-a-side. If you realize for the last 4 or 5 games your game plan's not working, you're gonna keep on fucking doing the same exact thing and expect to change. No, man, that's insane. That's the definition of insane.
That's true.
And he does that, man. He has this fucking thing where he gets the ball behind, back towards goal, and he just looks like he's waiting to get fucked in his ass. No, I just can't. To me, it's super frustrating. It really triggers me, man.
So he wants the ball played to him in one way and one
You
way
know what
only,
I'm-
and he won't adapt to
You
it.
know what I'm
anymore.
gonna say, man? I can't be. What I'm gonna say is Defre looks better, man.
Defrel does look better.
And I'm sorry, this guy is not a football player. Defre is not a football player, and he looks better than this guy. This just triggers me so hard. I'm sorry.
think Defrel would make a fantastic deputy striker to Elvis at Hamrun.
Oh my god. I mean,
You know Elvis of Hamrun, the striker?
I know.
You know the front 3 Hamrun, by the way, are really interesting. One's called Johnny, Elvis, and Dodo.
Wow, what names?
Yeah, crazy
Dodo went from Fiorentina to Framrun.
Yeah, there we go. So, okay,
Monza.
that's our Sassuolo. We've got Monza up next. Yes, top. For me, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Carlos Augusto.
I
Top.
agree with you. I think we have the same opinion. For a guy who probably no one thought he's going to score a goal,
Yeah.
he's come and been like, he has been the Theo Hernandez that everyone thought he's going to be.
Exactly.
That everyone thought Theo Hernandez was gonna be.
Statistically better than the other
Yes,
season.
and he has this way of just when he gets the ball, you're instantly scared.
Yes.
And that's the Theo effect.
Yeah.
And I just think having him on a team like that at Monza, on the left back position, it just creates so much space for players like Churia, Petagna, although he's not having the best season, Caprari, Pessina when he moves up forward. So I mean I don't know what point you have about Carlos Augusto, but I think we're in agreement.
No, I
here.
mean pretty much spot on.
And he has
he's
4
an
assists as well.
asset. Exactly.
He's also scoring, but also
5 goals, 4 assists. He's an absolute train going down that side,
Yeah.
and he doesn't hold up from his defensive
some really good goals as well,
responsibilities.
man.
Yeah, man.
Some
He's
really like goals
good.
where you like it really ups, like it hypes the team up, like it really like pumps them up, man.
Yeah, he's super, and it was all meant to be on Birindelli on the other side, but Birindelli's barely had a sniff this season compared to what Carlos Augusto has done. And he's outscored everyone. You know, they've brought in Napoli striker Petagna, who's got Milan on his CV. He's only managed 1 goal. It's all about this guy. Churia in the middle has been banging them in a bit, but yeah, Carlos Augusto sensational so far. Flop.
I have Caprari.
Caprari, not a bad shout to be honest. I think he has won them a few games.
Yeah, 2 games, man.
Yes.
So for a player who did some dirty things at Verona last season, to come to Monza at an arguably better team and play worse, for me, bodes the question. I think it's up to the player than the team, because they give him the space to play where he wants. They give him the freedom to play how he likes, and he just looks like the Caprari of Benevento.
He's sluggish.
He looks like the Caprari of Benevento.
It's
man.
true, bro. And you know Petagna, you said Petagna isn't having the best season.
But
I
he
agree
tries,
with you.
man.
Goal scoring wise, I
He
agree
tries,
with you.
man.
But Petagna, man, when it comes to the layoff passes he plays to his teammates,
He's good
the
at passing.
through balls he's been playing with the flick-ons under players' legs to put them into space.
You know, and when you have the right attitude, I give you the small benefit of the doubt. Caprari sometimes looks like he's ready to go in halftime and fuck some whore in the back of the fucking stadium. No, really, he just looks like he does not give 2 fucks. Stuff.
He looks unbothered.
Ready to fucking go have a fucking cappuccino.
There we go.
A fucking
Judging from what the club president has said, maybe there is actually a whore waiting for him outside the...
who fucking knows, man?
Yeah.
Maybe there is.
My flop, now I've noticed a trend. You're going for like players in the starting 11 as flops.
Yes, I have. Because
Now-
okay, go on.
My flop for Monza's Cranio. Cranio was brought in to be a starter.
That's a really good,
Yeah.
sneaky shout, huh?
Because take nothing away from Di Gregorio, and it's all because of Di
It is,
Gregorio
man.
that Cranio has flopped.
It is.
He's incredible.
It is.
He's incredible.
I think at any other club he'd be playing.
Yeah.
Maybe not Torino, but
Most clubs.
most
honestly,
clubs would be happy.
Cranio,
I wouldn't fucking mind Cranio at fucking Sassuolo or at fucking Verona or... So, okay, I agree with you, but I think you're answering your own question there.
Yeah.
You know, Di Gregorio has been fucking crazy, man.
He's been so good there. Di Gregorio is so
Crazy,
good.
man. Just like Provedel, man. Crazy. That's
There's so many
that's
good
another
keepers.
shout out for top for Lazio.
It's
Ostia.
true, Provedel.
Oh.
And Provedel's a goalkeeper who's never had any expectations.
No. So, well, if I could go back
He
in
was
time.
with Spezia before?
Yes, he was.
Oh, there we go. Nice. So,
Empoli,
Cranio, by the way, was given 1 chance this season.
Oh,
one
yeah,
appearance.
that was a bad game, huh?
They lost 3-0 to Salernitana. It wasn't very good.
But Salernitana had a new coach that game, and I think they were really ready for it.
They really were. Empoli, speaking of goalkeepers.
You're gonna pick Vicario, aren't you?
Of course, I'm going to pick Vicario,
didn't
bro.
pick Vicario,
You didn't pick
No,
Vicario? You picked
I picked
Baldanzi?
Baldanzi.
He's super. He's super.
I think well done for you catching him in fantasy, and
Thank you, bro.
I think that he's been such a fucking silent killer, man.
Yeah.
And he when he scored, he's won games, man. And I think for a player like that, who had probably 0 expectations, man, for him to come in and do some stellar performances. I just feel like the fact that he comes in and scores goals and they're winners or the influential goals, I think this makes it even more important.
Yeah, I mean...
But fair enough, Vicario's
he's-
been
he's
very
a-
good as well.
He's a teenager, Baldanzi.
That's the
and
thing,
what he's
man.
doing.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It could be this first season, and now next season he's a fucking invisible person. But
Apparently Milan want him.
I'll give it to him. Fair enough, man. It might be the next Tonali.
Oh man, he's so good. He's so good, Baldanzi. Honestly, he's such a creative genius as well. But yes, Vicario.
What
for
I'm going
me-
to say is actually one
Please,
other thing.
please.
I have a statistic here. Each time he scored, he's got points for his team.
I
2
see.
wins and 2 draws.
Oh shit.
So imagine, and if you remove those points from what he's done, Empoli would be 17th.
And that was the point I was going to make about Vicario, because some of the saves that Vicario has pulled off, I think that without them, they would be fighting relegation right now, Empoli. Because I think it goes both ways. Like, you look at Vicario's saves that he's pulled this season, he has an entire career highlight reel simply this season, Vicario. Yeah, have you seen the three against Roma, for example?
Yes, that was
oh
crazy.
my God.
That's crazy, that's crazy.
But yes, again, both amazing, both not going to be at Empoli for much longer.
No.
So we'll see.
I wonder which kid they're choosing for next season.
Yeah.
And their number.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Flop?
Caputo.
Caputo, not a bad shout. Has a goal contribution every 3 games.
Doesn't matter, man. I feel like he just, man. You know what I'm going to say?
He's getting older.
He's getting older, yes, but if you look at the strikers there, he could easily... because it's not about his skill, man. His skill is still there. He has no fitness, man. And what I'm going to say as well, I saw him last week, or I don't know when it was, I saw him fucking in a goal celebration drinking beer.
Yes, bro.
And I'm like, man, I can't take you seriously anymore. I can't take you seriously.
That's always been his thing, the beer drinking
okay,
celebration.
After the game, man. Okay, after you fucking scored a hat-trick against fucking Sassuolo, your old club, and you're having fucking a couple of birra morettis and enjoying a pizza. Not during the fucking game, okay? Because you're thirsty. No, I just can't take him seriously.
I think the goal might have been cancelled.
And it wasn't even his goal.
No, it was a fan's beer, right?
It was his fan, and he drank a good
gulp.
gulp.
I like that's someone who values his guts.
He's like, I'm fucking thirsty, huh? I'm gonna get one in before the game. After the game. No, I just think that he's
I agree. Caputo,
I think he's finished.
Caputo's declining
He's
aggressively.
Serie A next season.
Maybe not Serie B, but he has been declining for a while now. But I see a declining striker, and I look around him. I haven't even picked Destro. No.
Oh my
Lord.
Now,
so you look at Destro, one of them for sure. Satriano, perhaps another one. Young.
He tries, man.
He tries.
He tries, and he's an inter youth, and he's not playing in a team where they score a lot of goals.
For me, it was the man who was sent out of Juventus by Andrea Pirlo himself. Pirlo told him, go out, establish yourself at a lower tier club, rack up some goals, come back and make the difference at Juventus. This guy left, he got the train that day and was never heard of again, by the way. It's Piaka. Do you remember Piaka? Piaka has been at Genoa, he's been at Torino, and now he's at Empoli.
He played well at those last 2 teams, man. That's why I didn't pick him. I was thinking about Piaka, but in those other 2 teams, last season at Torino and the season before at Genoa, he played relatively well.
Sure, but not well enough, right?
Can it be said? I think he's played decently. Okay, to play starting for Juve, no.
Like 5 starts for Empoli. In a whole season.
Fair enough.
Brought off the bench 8 times.
Why would Torino bring you up if you're that hopeless?
I mean, why would Torino bring you up if they're...
Why would they pick you up? Sorry,
I mean, dude, clearly, you look at a player who's playing for Juventus and suddenly becomes available, you're going to study the profile. This guy was wanted by Milan as well during that period as well. So he was a player who was clearly on good form at the time when he was signed, but has showed close to nothing recently.
Fair enough, man. Okay, I mean, listen, I'd agree with you. I just still think that Caputo, for the amount of games he's played, should have scored more and should have contributed more as well.
Yeah, and there's Piccoli as well.
Oh, he's so bad. But he hasn't played, man.
Piccoli has had 1 start so far.
He hasn't played, man. So I just feel like the coach doesn't like him.
Yeah, I feel like the coach has his strikers and he's done.
You, Caputo, drink your beer. Just make sure you pass the ball sometimes.
Make sure Satriano doesn't see you. You're fine, man. Lecce.
Is it not obvious?
Big man
with the big biceps.
Yes,
makes
sir.
Makes everyone look like they're fucking emasculated.
Exactly. It makes everyone feel like a bitch, dude.
Yes,
it's Baschirotto.
Yes. He is just such a nuisance for strikers.
Yeah.
And not only that.
And for defenders in corners.
And that's my point. He's actually been a real for defenders. I just think he's just overall. He's not going to be at Lecce next season.
No,
Easily,
definitely not.
easily.
Apparently, he's very appreciated in Germany as well. I really hope he doesn't go there. I hope he stays in the league, but
Yeah, it
we'll
would be
see.
nice. I could see him at Dortmund though. I don't know why.
Honestly, I could see most of German teams, to be honest.
Yeah,
Right now, you look, by the way, Germany is back to Ginter and some other guy I'd never heard of plays for West Ham. Not looking good at all for them. But yeah, Bascarotto, yes, for me it was him. It was between him and the tiny man, what's his name? Serfetza.
Oh, I actually
Strefezza
forgot about Strefezza. Holy
is-
fucking Oh. That's... I may take mine back, actually.
Strefetza has scored important goals. He's got assists. He is that creative spark for Lecce. But I think their solidarity at the back, their defensive unity, that partnership of Bascarotto and Umtiti with Falcone and goal is what keeps them alive. And as well, Hjulmand in the midfield. Huh?
He hasn't been bad, but still not the top. I would say it's either Strefezza or Bascarotto.
Yeah.
Strefezza has been very, 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 very good.
He
very
has.
good.
He
But
really
I think I'll still stick with it, and I think we should both stick with it. Bascarotto has just been such an overachiever, man. So I think it just. I mean, a player like Strefezza, you probably hope he's gonna be the player to win you games.
Yeah.
Bascarotto, excuse me, sorry, no, you don't expect that. Not only to win you games by beating your one-on-ones in defense and making sure you outmuscle your opponent's strikers, but also by scoring influential goals as well.
Yeah,
So I mean,
three of them.
3 of them. He scored 4 this season, no?
Three.
Oh, okay.
But this is his first ever season on the top flight.
So I mean, I tested him. I think
Yeah. Chicken and rice, bro. That's what it gives you. Huh?
I could do some chicken and rice right now.
Flop. Now, starting 11 for me, no one's a flop.
Oh, okay.
My flop is Giuseppe Pezzella. Giuseppe Pezzella is 25 years old nowadays. He's got a lot of Serie A experience. He's played for Atalanta, for example, back in his days. He has not managed to...
back now?
He's a wing-back, a full-back. He hasn't managed to establish himself as a starter for Lecce at all. And he hasn't displaced Gallo at all. And Gallo's been actually pretty good, granted, but not undisplaceable, in my opinion, Gallo.
No, but I think that the coach really likes his defense.
Gallo?
Just likes the back four. And I feel like he's happy with it. And so long as they're fit, he won't want to change them.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, but I've picked Cisse.
Cisse? I don't think he's been bad. I think he's scored quite a few important goals now for them.
I don't think he scored that many good goals. I mean, he scored a few goals, but I think that, man, it's now either Lecce haven't had enough money to buy any striker, but I think if you banked on him being your main goal scorer, and it's been Strefezza instead.
I think it was between Cisse and Colombo. I think they're viewed as...
no, I think Colombo is way better than him.
Of course, yeah. But Colombo isn't theirs.
Okay, sure, but he still leaps and bounds better, and he's still playing way better. And I think Cisse, what he had for him was his pace, his height, and I just think that I just think he's not been that effective, man. I think they hoped that he would be good. They hoped he's going to be the next Nwoko.
Yes, I mean Wankwo.
Sorry, but
yeah,
I just don't. It was really. I think Lecce was my hardest one to choose a flop for.
Honestly, and you're picking a guy who's scored 4 goals for them in 14 starts, 9 off the bench as well. Along with that. Honestly,
it's not great, man.
But he's 29 at the end of the day. This is the highest level he'll ever reach. You know what I mean?
It's not great at all. Like I can't see him being like signed by another team next season.
No, he'll go.
He'll go anywhere else, like to France or whatever, or Turkey. Probably. So that's why I chose him, man.
Maybe come back with a new airline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next is Salernitana.
Up next, or yes?
I believe it has to be them. No.
It is Salernitana. Now the top, bro. I don't know if you've heard the song. Have you heard the song?
What song?
You don't know the song? I'm gonna play the full song
this
for
is
you, bro.
Around the, yeah?
Yes, our fucking listeners love this song, bro.
Con la palla sembra che danza, tutto lo stadio si alza, i difensori fai venire pure l'ansia. Prende punto e poi li salta tutti quanti, se li mangia sotto il 7 lui la palla della piazza. Salerno incanta, è il 29 sulla maglia. E Bulaye, Dia, è qua, è Bomber de Granata che se lo incontri sicuramente non ti lascia bei ricordi. E Bulaye, Dia, è qua, è Bomber de Granata che se lo incontri sicuramente non ti lascia bei ricordi. e Bulaye, via, è qua, è il momento Granata che se lo incontri sicuramente non ti lascia per ricordi.
What a vibe this guy gives you, man.
He's so
What
good.
a fucking good vibe this guy gives you, man.
It's
I
true.
mean, can you not just love him? You just have to love him, man.
You do, honestly.
Like, we were just dancing for the last 30 seconds, smiling, man. This guy just gives you this feeling. He is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I really fucking hope, Dia, if you're listening to this, don't you dare flop next season, man, because you have got some great things coming for you, brother.
He does. Young man from Senegal. am I
Fucking
right?
great, man. He's such a
Super player.
He's
Can score
fast, can score
from anywhere.
He's just his finishing is crazy, man.
Yeah.
I really hope it's not a one season wonder, man. And he does actually have finishing
doubt
like
it.
this because he's so good, man. He's so dangerous and he's such a game winner as well. He loves a big game too, man.
He
He's
does.
not afraid of anyone.
And you look at him, he doesn't have that kind of skill set that a traditional striker would have, to the point that you can only play him as a 9.
Yeah.
We've seen him deployed on the wing as well.
You can't blame him. He's fast.
He's super
man.
skillful.
And he's skillful, exactly.
Technical.
Yes. Yeah.
Good player, Boulaye Dia. I think undoubtedly the top performer.
What I'll say is, without Day in that team, they're maybe
Relegation
they may be
candidates.
20th, man. Maybe
20th? I wouldn't say 20th.
Man, if you remove that guy, I think the team crumbles, huh? He is really the glue to that team, man. He is really the glue. Because he's not only skillful and fast and blah, 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 but he mostly plays as a number 9. And he mostly holds up that ball. So there's Piontek.
Yeah.
But I think he does Piontek better, man.
Yeah, he's 10 goals, 4 assists. Boulaye Dia Ekwa. Okay, flop. So I was between two.
Okay.
We have Piontek,
Okay.
whose numbers aren't great.
But he tries.
But he tries. His hold-up play is good.
Yes.
His defensive work up front is good too.
yes.
So
he has won the ball back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not putting him as my flop.
He's not my flop. He's not even my number 2.
Major is my
Yes,
flop.
he is, bro.
Even
my
you?
God,
Yeah,
nice.
There we go.
Yes,
There we go. There
yes.
we go. He was the captain of Spezia.
Yes, exactly. I have it down here, and I think that they bought him or they brought him in with the intent to have him as a starter, key player.
Exactly.
And he has been a fucking he put on Harry Potter's invisible fucking robe, and he has not fucking showed himself, man. And he plays bad too.
Yes. He's not playing well at all.
It might be the club, which hurts that even more. But I just think he's not been good at all.
No, I look at the fact that he left Spezia on a terrible note. He fell out with the manager, and they just shipped him out. And now he's at Salernitana, and he hasn't managed to establish himself.
It shows.
Strikes me a bit of
strikes
a
odd, though.
personality.
Yeah,
kind of issue.
yeah, I agree with you.
Speaking of the perfect transition, Spezia.
Ooh, I mean,
Top is obvious.
come on.
Top is man, and how good has he looked? I didn't think he looked this good. Ever.
Listen, I never thought he's been this good. And now that he's done this in 2 seasons, barring the last season, he hasn't done it at all. And he was going to leave Turkey. And I think that, by God, I'm glad Spezia didn't make that decision. Because without him, they definitely would be. They would be super fucked. And if you were shit on them again, like you shit on Spezia last season, I'd agree with you 1 bajillion%.
Yes,
but
bro.
this year, with that motherfucker up front, man, scoring goals like it's nobody's business, penalties and finishes, and just basically telling people, you ain't fucking gonna stop me, motherfucker.
12 goals and 2 assists.
For Spezia.
In 22 games.
I'm pretty sure he has like a stat off my ass. 70% of their goals.
Definitely. I mean, who else scores for that team? You have Daniel Maldini, who scored 2.
2 goals, yeah.
Other than that, like Agudelo hasn't scored. Jazi doesn't score ever.
1 goal.
1 goal, yeah. One goal when he was on my bench on fantasy football. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to discuss about. He's just been very.
He's
just
the
been
top
overall
by far.
good. Top
I
gun.
mean, second would be Dragovski or Ampadu. in my
No,
opinion.
Dragovski. No. Dragovski
Mm-hmm.
has the most saves in the league, man. The most saves in the league in a team which, okay, yes, you get shot at a lot, but he has had killer games, where he's been like, I have a player up front scoring goals, and I have a player in my fucking defense not allowing goals to go in. So I mean, I think it's arguably both of those decisions that would be a good cause no matter what. But I think Nzola was the right one.
This takes us to our flop, bro.
Okay. I I think we're gonna agree here, and if we don't agree, I'd be very confused. But it's Shomurodov.
Shomurodov isn't a bad shout. I think he came a bit late in the season for him to be my flop.
Okay, fair enough.
In fact, I have Kovalenko. Because Kovalenko last year
Yeah,
for Spezia played 26 games, was a very important figure for them, and perhaps a very big part as to why they survived last year. This season, he's managed 4 appearances.
you know what? The change of coach, man.
Change of coach makes a massive
It
difference.
made a huge difference, and
But adapt, you're 27. You were a key figure last year. The club brought you back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I'm not gonna argue too much against that. It's he's not been great, and when he plays, he's not been what he should be.
Who's your flop?
Shomurodov, like I said.
Shomurodov, like you said.
I just feel like overall, as the seasons go by, it's not his third season. Starting in Genoa, where the hype grew, and then he went to Roma last year, and he was pathetic. And now they just loaned him out, and he still can't play for Spezia as a second striker. Okay, I'm not saying the first striker, but second striker. I mean,
No, I mean, look, Shomurodov...
he only played 7 games for Spezia, but still, man,
4 starts.
still, like, you know,
Yes, you'd expect more, right?
at least a goal. If you
This guy's meant to be a Roma-level striker, you know?
he's definitely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Beloft is playing over you.
But yeah,
yeah.
it's been unfortunate for Shomurodov. I went for someone who's been there a bit.
Fair enough. I don't
longer.
think it's a bad decision. I may agree with you, actually. I might change mine to Kovalenko because I think, the point about adaptation and to basically make sure you work for the team and not stick to your own game plan.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Cool. Hellas Verona.
Hellas Verona. I mean, excuse me.
Late tired.
Listen, you're the one who cancelled on Wednesday.
Yes, and do you want to tell them why?
Well, basically, I was about to leave. I was in my car. I was asking Jake. I don't know what brought it about, but I was like, Jake, we're still good. He's like, bro, I've just had some Greek. Who the fuck eats Greek takeout, by the way? I've just had some Greek. I was like, okay, very weird. I'm feeling a bit sleepy. Can we postpone to Friday? I was like, oh, okay, man, sure, no problem, do it. I'm like, all right. And I told the man, make sure you have a coffee next time, as long as anyway.
I was so tired.
Was the Greek good?
It was amazing.
Where did you get
You know
Greek from?
Yamas and Mosta?
No, I don't know.
Yamas is the shit, dude.
We have
Yamas
to get Greek, man.
Tafarnak.
We
It's
should come over and we
amazing.
get Greek.
Honestly, next time we do it. Let's do one this weekend with a
Sunday.
game. Come over, get the Yamas or some shit.
We'll do, yeah, I'll do that. I'll love some. I haven't had Greek in
Why
forever.
not? While that piece of shit's in Australia, we can vibe. No problem.
So, Verona. I've picked Doig.
Top Doig.
Top Doig.
I think Doig had a burst where he was incredible and then dipped. So he was nowhere to be seen. Exploded, dipped.
And who did you pick then?
Lazovic
He
for me.
also did that though. At the beginning of the season, nothing. Huge peak. And now he's calmed down a little bit, huh?
He has calmed down a bit, but when you look at what's left on this extremely depleted, fucked up Verona side, he is the only creative spark they have remaining. Bar maybe Cyril Ngonj, who's injured, and by the way, Lazovic is also injured, so Verona won't be winning a game till he's back. But 3 goals, 4 assists for a guy who was on the wing, kind of struggling to get 2-goal contributions this season, and now he's playing behind the striker. I kind of like the way he's adapted to this.
He's been very good. He's definitely my second choice, but I feel like Doig has helped Illich Watch be replaced by Doig Watch, and I feel like he has been one of the few players to help bring that defense to transition to the other parts of the game, which they need, of course, to score goals, because you need the midfielders and the attackers to score. So I feel like he's been a catalyst there when he's on form. And that's generally why I picked him. I feel like, and he does get the odd goal too.
Yes, he
So
does.
so I feel like he has been a bit of an overachiever for somebody I had no clue who he was. So that's why I picked him.
Doesn't even feature for the
That's
Scottish
what
national
Lazovic
team.
has always been them, and he's always been like, oh, he's one of Verona's players. He's a good player. That's why I picked Doig, because I feel like he really came out of nowhere and was like, I'm gonna impose myself in this team.
Yeah. Yeah, Doig honestly has been very good this season, but I think Lazovic has been the main guy.
Fair
Personally,
enough.
agree to disagree over there.
Fair enough.
Flop.
Duric.
I put Henri. I mean, to be honest, if you look here, I put Henri and the Duric, but I put Henri first.
Got his ACL gone.
I mean, yes, sure.
So can
yes.
he-
But he still started 13 games and scored twice. I mean, it's not the worst in the world. I mean, Duric is much worse. No, 1 goal in 18 appearances. But he's also struggled with injuries, Duric.
No, man, but he just looks bad, man. He just looks bad. Like, he doesn't look like a Serie A player. No offense to him, but he doesn't look like a Serie A player. And I mean, like,
The service probably isn't ideal either.
it's not ideal, man. But I mean, okay, yeah, you're a big striker, so that's probably your main game plan. But even at Salernitana, he wasn't good, man. So it begs the question that he's a bit of a flop. They brought him in as a bit of an emergency. And I feel like, you bring in Henry, you bring on him. I'm like, okay, you have 2 good strikers. You want to play 3-5-2. You're going to play them both together. And like, this Ngong guy came in and like, I'm going to score goals. So they can score goals. The team can score goals. This guy can't score at all.
We've got a sound bite.
Yes.
Of Ngonj.
Ooh, how
Where
random.
Where is it?
Cyril Gauge.
Ooh, I love this commentator.
Ngonj. He's such a good commentator. So enthusiastic.
He's the one of the few good English-speaking commentators. It's Ngong.
So this one.
Solbakken.
Ooh.
Sol back!
Who fucking speaks with such fervor about a player like Solbakken, man?
Doig.
Ooh. I think he has a fucking thing with Doig and the
He
bottle.
likes him, huh?
Oh! Doig, you dirty dog.
So we can agree that Verona's flops are in the striking department.
Yes,
basically.
we can.
Okay, so Sampdoria now. Now tops for me are between 2 veteran men.
Veteran man.
Yes, 1 in defense, 1 in attack.
Top in defense. I wonder-
Yes, bro. He's been brought in,
Colli?
and he's honestly given Sampdoria so much stability. Colli's actually been shipped out.
you picked Neuting.
So Bram Neutink was my second choice up front. When it comes to the tops, because he's been so solid at the back.
I don't know why they sold him actually.
He's brought. I agree with you.
have
I think
no
Udinese
fucking-
could use his
I have
leadership
no
at the
fucking
back.
clue what they did there, but anyway.
But he's super, Bram Neutink. He's been
Okay.
great. But my top is Manolo Gabbiadini.
I'm not gonna argue against you.
No?
He's helped them. He's
And
helped them
he's
score
a-
goals, man.
He's another player who, when he scores, you smile. No.
Yeah, you can't hate him unless he scores against Sassuolo 2 really good goals, and I get really frustrated. But apart from that, yes, he's another player you can hate. But I picked Audero.
You picked Audero, sure.
I mean, man, there have
another
been
super
countless
goalkeeper.
games where you're like, this guy doesn't want to score. No one's going to score against him today. And I mean, yeah, that's why I picked him. He has been their saving grace. I can't imagine if they had a different keeper instead of him this season. I don't want to imagine what situation they'd be in.
Honestly, you're probably right.
I mean, Gabbiadini has scored goals, granted, but he only has like 5?
He's got, let me tell you the exact number.
Which is good, huh?
6 goals, 1 assist.
Which is
in
not
16
bad.
starts.
It's good.
Yeah.
But I think, man, if you remove Audero there,
They might concede more. But considering their secondary goalkeeper is actually Lecce's Falcone, who's pretty good, maybe that'd be okay. Man, goalkeeping standards in Italy are really high.
Fair. But still, man, Audero is Audero. Like you know who he is. He's been there for a while,
And he has this maturity about him, where despite his young face, he's a leader, you know, and you can tell, like, even when he steps up to go against someone in a penalty.
Have we done Verona's flop yet?
We have done.
Oh my
we said
god!
Henry and
Can I
Drake.
change quickly? I'll pick
Go for it.
Faraone.
Farone. Oh, where is he? Where's he been?
That's my question.
Where's he been?
That's my
dude?
question.
Farone. He's actually. I think he started the last game, but honestly, before that, where's he been?
And this guy has been scoring
Yes.
goals on the left.
It was a fantasy football sleeper pick.
It
no?
was, man. Like you'd happily have him in your defense.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go back
That's
to
a good one.
Sampdoria's
Flop.
I really fucking struggled here, dude.
I found it quite easy because there's a guy who I've been calling a flop for the past 5 years.
Who is he?
It's Andrea Conti.
No,
Andrea Conti.
I can't pick him.
Andrea Conti blew up at Atalanta. He had a season, bro.
Yeah, but
in
he's
one
bad, but
season,
he's bad.
8 goals, 5
But he's
assists
bad,
for
man.
Atalanta.
But he's bad. Like, we know he's bad.
Yes.
There's no surprise.
But you know,
Sabiri has been worse, man.
Sabiri
has not been good, man.
Sabiri it's true, struggled
No,
to
he's-
cement
he's
himself
not
in the
been
lineup.
good, man. This is
But there's something
Sampdoria.
weird going on with Sabiri. How does he start for Morocco and score important goals for Morocco? And when he plays for Sampdoria, he plays well. And
I don't think he plays as well, man.
he plays
He
alright.
plays okay. Alright is what we need. Alright.
Boys better than fucking Harry Winks.
Okay, man, but still, it's not enough, clearly.
Yeah.
And this guy's meant to be a guy who can score goals. And he's not scoring goals. It's a fucking 33-year-old Gabbiadini. Okay? So, I mean...
Yeah. Sabir's meant to be the set piece specialist, Shalanoglu-esque type player for them, and he really hasn't cemented himself into the lineup. So,
At
to be
all.
honest with you, fair enough. I thought he would be a staple in that team.
I think Conte's a bit of a meme, if you ask.
Conti's a meme, yes.
And I think if we're being serious, we have to say Sabir. But fair enough. Fair enough, man.
Yes.
I guess what left is Cremonese, right?
Cremonese. Now, for me, top goalkeeper, because there's no one else.
Oh. I don't have a goalkeeper there. I know you picked Carnesecchi.
Carnesecchi, yeah, I love him. You picked Okereke?
No.
No.
Guess what?
Valeri?
No.
No.
You're not gonna pick it. And I think you're gonna really
Vasquez?
No.
Piquel?
Yes.
You picked Piquel. I like Piquel, to be fair.
I think
I like him.
I think when Cremonese play well, he has been integral, and he's a ball winner, and he also brings the ball up, and he has been influential at times. He has bad games, but I think that it's just a struggle to always play well in a team like that.
Yeah.
And I think that generally speaking, Cremonese will get relegated. I mean,
Yes.
I can bet on this, and it's gonna happen. But he'll go to another club in Serie A.
Piquel,
Yeah.
probably. My brother and I, Matt and I, we often do this thing where we take a look at the team who's dead last or the teams in the bottom three, and we say, who do you think would remain in Serie A were they to
Yeah.
fall? So you have the obvious ones. Now you have like Okereke, who any newly promoted team
Yes.
would take Okereke.
Yeah.
Carnesecchi, who's literally owned by Atalanta, so he's not going anywhere. Vasquez has a lot of Serie A experience playing with Genoa before you probably take him.
I don't love him. He has very
Not
bad
the
games.
best, not the best, but I think he would remain. There's Castagnetti, who probably stays as well. Piquel is one of the ones who stays, probably. And I think, in my opinion, one of the underrated players of Cremonese at the moment is Tsaju up front.
Ooh.
Tsaju up front
Was
is...
he at Spezia last year?
Tsaju was not. He's a Milan youngster. So I used to watch him in the Primavera, and when he used to play FM, he was my guy on Football Manager, and I used to play him on the wing because that was his position back then. He was a young, kind of lean, very athletic kind of winger. Now you see him; he's like 6'3". He's massive. He's stocky, and he's completely changed the way he plays.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting to see. But yes, very good shout there, bro, with Piquel. Very cultured shout, by the way.
Thank
You
you,
know
thank
your
you.
shit. Flop. This is the last one, guys.
I picked John.
John, yeah. I mean, you go from...
I don't want to. He's a lovable character, but he's just not. I mean, if you're going to a club like that where you're guaranteed to play every game, if you play decently,
5 starts.
that shows, man. He's not at that level yet.
Yeah. And he was actually coming
Show
off...
is playing, man.
Yeah, Shafan, who's, by the way, 37 years old or some shit.
Yeah, he's
Shafan.
insane, and he's scoring.
Yeah. But yes, John was actually coming off the bench for Roma, scoring and changing games for them,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden he's gone to this club where he's allowed to express himself and to show
And
the
do
world who he
nothing.
truly is, and he's done nothing.
Yeah.
So yes. So that's it, guys. That's our tops and flops. Please let us know if you agree or disagree with anything we've said. Luke, you've been amazing. Thank you very much for coming.
I think it's been a great episode. It's been super fun. It's flowed really nicely, in my opinion.
has, it
I
has.
really hope everyone else feels the same way. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for bringing me. I always love doing these episodes. So I'm also happy to do the next few as well. And I hope Matt stays in Australia so I can keep doing these.
Thank you, bro. The reason it floats so well probably was because we've gone through 3/4 of a bottle of Disaronno.
I feel quite. I feel quite.
It sneaks up on you, doesn't
does.
it?
It's a bit of a creeper, huh?
It is.
I'm gonna have a pizza soon.
Oh, nice. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to Melita. Melita
Ah,
and Tart.
Melita.
I haven't been there in ages. I hope it's not horrible.
Yeah, I hope so too, for your sake. Have you heard the Victor Osimhen song?
I haven't.
Isn't that amazing?
That is great, man. Holy molies.
Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. We've been Serie Spotlight. Please follow us on at Serie Spotlight on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever. And please do DM us and let us know what you think of this Luke Mintoff guy and if I should record another episode with him.
Please
or if I should do it solo.
I mean, we're probably better off doing a solo, to be honest.
Nah, bro. Solo is impossible. I'm sorry. Like, the first bit of this podcast is solo and it feels weird. But anyway, thank you very much, guys.
See you guys.